coming soon to this theater.
Hey everybody, what's up? It is your buddy Brian. I hope everybody can hear me and I'm coming through loud and clear. I have some really wonderful guests with me this evening. Everybody here is the author or artist of a Western comic book. Western comic books are a little bit of a hard sell these days, to say the least, but we're actually making it happen here in our little indie scene. And I've got a bunch of people here who have taken that leap, who have decided to not go the easy path and, make something that's, for an audience that they think is going to sell, but, or obviously, because heck, man, if you're doing a Western comic, that shit better be coming from the heart,
right?
Or you're gonna be in for a world of hurt, because it's very far from a sure thing. Even in the mainstream industry, where crime comics do relatively well, Western comics are still considered something of a risky property. But here, we're going to go over everybody's campaigns naturally. But first, let's go around and introduce everybody. Or rather, can you introduce yourselves and just tell us what your book is, and the title, and maybe like a little quick elevator pitch or something. Matt, start with you, bro.
Sure. Hi, my name is Matt Burke, and I'm the creator of BUTCH CLEAVER. It's a supernatural horror Western. It's about a butcher who gets killed. He's brought back to life by a voodoo curse, and that curse gives him the power to weaponize bone on a molecular level. He's trying to figure out who murdered him. He's got a bounty hunter on his trail, and I'm launching I'm in the middle of my campaign for the second book, and this one's going to go into his origin, and it's also going to push the story forward and build the lore of the BUTCH CLEAVER verse. And that's pretty much it.
Heck yeah. Yeah, and I was a really naughty boy. I didn't back the first campaign, but I did back this one, and I'm getting both books. Like I said, dude, sorry, I fucked up. I hit that follow button. I don't do it anymore, though. I'm very careful, because folks, watch that follow button, because it makes you think that you backed stuff that you didn't back. You're like, click follow. Okay, I'll back that later, and then you're getting updates and shit, But, whatever. Jason, would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Hey guys, this is a great idea, by the way. You're doing great.
Thanks,
My
man.
name's Jason Orfalas, and I have a campaign out on In Demand in Indiegogo right now. It's called Octopus Cowboy. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets spaghetti western. It's about an octopus on a horse with an 80-gallon hat.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like, ching, sold. And Mike, would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, of course, man. So, hey, everybody. I'm Mike Murphy, one half of Chibi Comics. You can find me on Twitter and TikTok at Chibi_Mike. You can find me on YouTube at The Chibi Mike, all one word. So what I've got coming up is DEEPWELL, Book 1, which should be hitting digital fulfillment late September and print fulfillment mid-October. The original elevator pitch was what happened the day the Lone Ranger rode into Deadwood. But the truth is, it's the story of the Block family, who's an evil, tyrannical family of criminals who have founded and rule over the town of DEEPWELL with an iron grip. And one day, the Gray Devil rides into town, and he's dead set on taking each and every one of them down. So it's kind of this grand Shakespearean family revenge epic, I guess you could call it.
That's once again, ching, sold.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. No, it looks really, really sweet. It looks like a combination between High Plains Drifter and like one of those like horror spaghettis. We'll go into like different subgenres and that kind of stuff later. Richard, dude, tell us about your kick-ass upcoming campaign.
Cool. My name is Richard Embry. You can catch me on Twitter, Richard Embry, at Richard Embry. I got my my Western is called The Devil from Talonflats. It's about a wounded bounty hunter that inherits the enemies of a widow who nursed him back to health. It's going to be a lot of action, a lot of violence. It's kind of based in reality. I shouldn't say kind of. It is like more of a reality tale, grounded tale. But yeah, a lot of grit, a lot of action, a lot of violence, a lot of stuff that I liked that attracted me to the Western genre. And then with that, a good story with a lot of heart, and the point is to make you care for the characters, because violence is only better and enhanced when you actually care, and there's a reason behind it. So that's why it is a purpose. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very early American patriotic kind of violent story. So yeah.
We're Americans, we love our violence.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's man, it's very pro gun, I guess. Very pro gun and very pro revenge. So
You gotta be pro gun in the West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pro
you're
gun,
dead.
pro revenge. A lot of the law doesn't make it right, we make it right. So, that's justice. Real
The
justice.
subtitle of the book is just 2A.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna relaunch on Friday. I got some combos that I'm gonna offer the international backers. That I because here's the thing. I can't control shipping. Like, that's out of my control. But what I can do is put together an awesome package and then just make it free of shipping. Just take shipping out of the equation, offer more, give the backers that are overseas more. And I feel that would be a way to make it right. That's the CG way. That's the customer service way. That's the Western way. And
that's how we do it, man. That is how we do it. If we find out that one of our backers, we figure out we get a message from one of our backers, showing us pictures of a book that they got, shipped all the way to Singapore, arriving all jacked up. We gotta swallow that $28 shipping and handling.
Yep. That's how the West was won.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Wells Fargo and stuff like that was
Pony Express.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Yeah. And Mark, last but certainly not least, tell us about yourself and Grave Robbers, sir.
Sure. Yeah. I'm the creator and writer of Grave Robbers. I'm doing the lettering on the book. We just sent that out to the printer today. So,
Nice.
we're going to be fulfilling soon. But if you guys haven't heard of it yet, Grave Robbers is a horror Western focusing on a group of bounty hunters hunting down a killer in the Old West across state lines all the way to a dusty old dried up town called Hellhole. And there they kind of run into some unsavory characters, some outlaws, and some cultists, and things go pretty sideways from there. If you like Sam Raimi, over the top, kind of gratuitous violence, this is definitely a book for you. I grew up on Westerns and the Raimi movies. Everybody loves Evil Dead.
Most definitely.
I like RoboCop. Those over the top, ultra violent movies. Those are the ones that I grew up on. I wanted to bring that into a comic book, and passion for drawing. The artist on the book really brought it. He did a hell of a job on the art in this book, and it looks great. It's a fun story. It's not too serious. There's a couple of jokes in there to keep it light. It's just a badass book, and I think people are really gonna love it when they get their hands on it, man. I'm really excited to get it out to people.
Very excited to get it in my hands, man.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I guess once this is posted on the YouTube, I'll make sure that there are links to all of your books in the description. And folks, go check out all these campaigns because they are all legit. And of course, Richard's going to be launching on Friday. you know, he made some rookie mistakes with his
Indeed.
yeah. Well, like I said, it's like, oh, I've never made any rookie mistakes.
I do all the time.
God. Yeah, seriously, man. Like I said, 3 first campaigns, and that's what, you know, that's why this community is so special, is because, you know, we all share information, and you can learn a lot from the things that we do right, but you can especially learn from our blunders. Yeah. So anybody else out there, you know, watching that wants to throw their hat into the ring, just remember, a professional is just an amateur who never quit.
Right.
Right.
That's what I like to say. All right. Where shall we begin this? Shall we begin this with, now I know maybe not all of you are like heavy into Westerns. Not all of you grew up with Westerns, and that's cool. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be like, I can't stand gatekeeping. I can't stand people who are like, what? You've never seen that? Well, I don't take your opinion about anything seriously anymore. No, not at all. At the same time, it's, God, when I was growing up as a kid, this was when there was, you know, a lot of syndicated television, and I had, you know, was coming up in the 70s, and there were a lot of reruns of old Western TV shows on TV because, of course, there was a time like in the 50s and the 60s where all TV shows were Westerns, or virtually all shows. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
What I'm saying is there was a metric full ton of Western shows, because it's like, you know, they had the costumes, they had the props, they had the towns, the sets, and everything like that. So they were just cranking them out. And you know, God, I think the first Western anything that I kind of fell in love with was the Lone Ranger. I was a big Lone Ranger fan as a kid.
Nice.
And it, you know, wasn't until later, of course, you know, I started watching, you know, of course, the John Ford Westerns, Howard Hawks Westerns, you know, the great American Westerns. And, you know, and I enjoyed the heck out of those. But then I discovered the Italian Westerns. And that's what just absolutely lit a fire under my butt and made me just completely fall head over heels in love with Westerns and Western storytelling. And then naturally, there were the comic books. There were the Marvel Westerns, the mighty Marvel Westerns, many of them drawn by, of course, by Jack Kirby. You had the Two Gun Kid, the Rawhide Kid. Who else was there? Oh, Ghost Rider, the original Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Right.
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 Yeah. Who was, for those of you who aren't aware, the Ghost Rider that you're familiar with, probably, you know, the one that Mike Plug was doing, I think was with Gary Friedrich writing in the 70s, you know, on the chopper with the burning skull. Yeah. Which, you know, is the definitive Ghost Rider for many reasons, just because it's just, you know, I mean, how can you beat a skeleton with a burning skull dressed in leather on a chopper? That's just, you know, well, little kid's not going to go crazy over that. But the original Ghost Rider was just a guy that would dress up in this white costume with a flowing cape and a hat and everything. And I believe that the costume was treated with something that would make it glow in the dark. So it made him appear even more spectral. So he was kind of like a frontier version of like the Shadow.
He was the Ghost Rider.
Yes, he was the Ghost Rider. But the Marvel ones weren't my favorites. The ones I really fell in love with were, of course, Jonah Hex. Batlash. Love me some Batlash. What were your experiences?
Well, for me, I'm just gonna like rehash all my stuff when I was promoting DEEPWELL.
Please.
So like for me, growing up, I wasn't really into Westerns. I was like, I was a superhero / horror kid. Like, you know, my first VHS tape I ever owned was Fright Night, and I wore that thing out.
Ah, God bless you, sir.
Yeah, so
Excellent choice.
you know, like westerns were always around me. Like my grandfather on my dad's side was a big western fan, and he had a small bar in their house, and the whole bar was just western themed. So they were always around me, and just something about it just didn't click with me until I was in college, and I had to do a film report on Unforgiven,
Mm.
and like yeah,
That was the
right.
one. That was the one.
That was the one. By the time it was over, like my brain was like, all right, I get westerns now. I get it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, like as an adult now, like having gone back and like seen a whole bunch of this stuff. Next to Unforgiven, I'd have to say like my favorite western is probably High Noon.
Oh,
Yep,
excellent
good one.
choice.
I mean, it's High Noon is incredible because there's so much subtext, but it's not propaganda. You know, it's so much about standing against the grain, and then like the like last third of the movie just turns into Die Hard. Like it's just one. It's just one
Yippee-ki-yay.
dude,
Yeah, one guy.
one guy against a whole gang, and he has to be creative in taking each and every one of them out. Like that movie was such an influence that yeah, like I make soundtracks for each of my books, and I put the soundtrack listing on the inside cover. There's this British chick, her name's Sarah Vista, and she's like really into Western music, and she does a cover of the theme for High Noon, and that's one of the songs in my soundtrack list.
Don't forsake me, oh
Yep.
my darling.
Oh, it's so good.
And that shot, sorry to interrupt you.
No,
that
good.
shot, that crane shot of Gary Cooper standing there and looking around, and you know, this town that he stood for, these people that he was going to protect. And remember, like he's going to be splitting soon.
Right.
So oh shit, did we just lose somebody? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, somebody dipped.
Yeah, Matt did, I think. Well, don't worry. We'll
I think Graham is on. Graham
there we
Nolan?
go.
There he
There's
is.
Matt. Yeah. But yeah, that scene, that, you know, I mean, it's heartbreaking.
It is.
It's
like
heartbreaking.
the whole movie is just him, like, you know, he's coming back with his like new wife, and he's just like basically cleaning out his desk, and like he gets word of what's happening, you know, with this outlaw that he supposedly put away, and the whole movie is just him begging the town for help, and they all turn their backs on him. And so by the time High Noon hits, you're like, this dude is so dead. And just the resourcefulness of that character and what he manages to pull off just by himself. It's one of my favorites.
And the integrity.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that, you know, everybody's telling him, get the fuck out of Dodge, just go.
Right.
And he's just like, it's not time yet. I'm still on the clock.
Right.
I'm still working. And yeah, I mean, you know, like the only person that would have helped him, of course, there's a wonderful scene with Lon Chaney Jr., who
Right.
Most of us know better as Lawrence Talbot, the Wolfman, and he wants to help, but he's just like a broken down old man. He's like, I can't.
Right.
But then there's part of you that's just like, dude, can't you just get underneath like one of the buildings with like a 12 gauge or a scatter gun or something like that, and just blow their goddamn fucking ankles off?
Yeah, him and what's his name, Lloyd Bridges, right?
Yes.
The two of them, like when even they turn their back on him, you're like, you dirty sons of bitches. Like,
yeah, right. And then of course there's that classic shot at the end. Spoiler alert, the movie's only about like 60, 70 years old.
Yeah.
He takes the you know, his badge off before he leaves, and he throws it in the dirt.
Right.
And oh god. And you know what's amazing about High Noon? When it was that's a film that's considered one of the movies that was saved in the editing room. That when they first took a look at it, they were like, oh my god, it's a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And something in the editing process, like I turned it into a classic.
Yeah, man. I mean, that whole thing with editing, it just goes to show, like, and it applies to comics too, because
Yes,
you know, even like, and I know lots of people have said this, but you know, like I don't consider the book done until we're done lettering, and lettering is where a lot of the editing happens.
Yes, absolutely. Because then what you want to do is you want to riff off of what the artist has done.
Yep.
You know, that's part of the creative of like the collaborative process is the whole kicking the ball back and forth, right? Like I got the script here, I throw it to the artist does their thing. They're going to, you know, add their own flavor and maybe make certain choices, because although I script full script style with a lot of detail and I could be very specific, I always make sure that when it goes to the artist, I'm like, dude, treat this like it's Marvel style.
Right.
That's to say all the details, all that stuff that I'm putting in there, that's hopefully to make your job easier. But if you have an idea that's better than mine, go for it.
Yeah, Eric just got done lettering The Gods Fear Me about a month ago, and that whole process was basically me just going page by page, like telling him, you can just take all this out, because like Kristen communicates all of it with his art.
Cool.
Show, don't tell.
Exactly.
That's one of the things that that I really especially wanted to do, like in my first issue of Six Gun Gorilla. I was just like, I want as little dialogue in this as possible, because it was the peak of the Talking Heads era that Brian Michael Bendis ushered in, right? Where you get page after page.
Yep.
It's a visual medium, right? And if you have a scene like that, where that's all dialogue, okay, you can do that occasionally, but every issue?
I mean, look, like I don't want to get started talking about Bendis, because like it's a Western show, but
well, he wrote crime comics. I don't think he ever wrote any Western comics, but yeah.
Yeah, like, so my thing about Bendis is, like, you know, I read like the original Caliber stuff he did, like, you know, Goldfish and Jinx, and I love that stuff, and I love it because I understand he was basically putting out like visual plays minus the actors, you know, like,
yeah,
they were basically set pieces, and he even cast actors and, like, you know, traced over them for like the panel layouts and stuff, and that was fine, you know, like that David Mamet thing that he was doing worked because you understood the context of, like, okay, this is a comic, but it's not really a comic. I'm basically reading a play right now. But when he starts, but when he starts working with like Oming and Bagley and everyone that he's worked with, and he didn't like adapt his style to be like, okay, now I can stop doing the whole I don't have an artist thing.
Right.
Exactly. I'm like, yes. What are you doing, man?
Exactly. Because you know, it's always helpful when you know the artist that you're working for, because you can play to their strengths. Right, or compensate for their weaknesses if they have any.
Right.
And my God, man, it's like I said, you know, show don't tell.
You don't have a giant double page splash shot of people standing in a news office talking.
No. If people want like, you know, a revenge Western with a gorilla book, I'm gonna give them some. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna go full gorilla in that damn thing. You know.
Yes.
But yeah, oh God, High Noon was like was a major one with me. Interesting thing about Unforgiven. That was the second strangest experience that I've ever had in a cinema. Number one was and I'm talking about like strange experience, like not as in like, you know, like something freaky happening, but just, you know, like when you go to see a film with a live audience, you know, you watch the film, but you also watch the audience.
Sure.
And see how they react. And the strangest experience I ever had was Blue Velvet. The audience to that was nearly threw a riot.
It's Blue Velvet, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean they were not ready for that movie. They were not ready. And my friends wanted to lynch me afterwards when I told them that I thought it was an instant classic. They were like, "What?" Yeah. And I was just like, "Sorry, brah. Check with me in like 20 years." But the second was Unforgiven. And it's because people came to see Clint kick some ass.
Right.
They hadn't. They were coming for like Pale Rider or Hang 'em High or something like that, or maybe they were expecting like one of the Leone westerns or some. They were coming to see Clint whip some ass, and instead, what they got was this incredibly thoughtful, emotionally deep, instant classic. But I remember watching it, being in the theater, and I was like, boom! I was like nailed to my seat.
Right. Right.
And the rest of the audience were squirming in their seats because they were waiting to see Clint, blow somebody's head off, Dirty Harry style.
I mean, you finally get it at the end.
You get it at the end, but then it's like, well, do I root for this guy? It's like it's like the people he's killing are pretty fucking awful, right?
Yeah, right.
And they got it coming, but as the character William Money himself says, we all got it coming, kid.
Right, exactly.
Yep. Disturb's got nothing to do with it. Oh my God.
Well, that too, and at the end, you want him to be like, you want that action, you want the payoff, but then he's like, yeah, I am the killer of women and children. You're like, whoa, I'm rooting for a child killer, bro. Whoa, like,
yeah, you are. Yeah, you
it's
are.
Like, okay,
Well,
And that's
because
great about Clint Eastwood, man. He can walk that line. He really has that ability to be, the good guy or the bad guy, kind of at the same time. Like he has that gravitas and that grit that you believe it.
Right. Well, because you feel so bad for Money in that movie, because he's struggling with this darkness. He's fighting it, and he's fighting it, and he's fighting it, and then it just swallows him up.
Right.
Once he finds out that his friend, is dead, has been murdered.
Shouldn't have decorated your bar with my friend.
My friend, right? And he takes the bottle from the kid.
Yep.
And he starts drinking, and like the other characters, they don't understand the significance of that, but we understand it.
That's probably the first time he ever killed an unarmed man.
Right.
Well, he should have armed himself.
Right.
If he was going to decorate his place with his friend, right? Oh my God! Yeah. Yeah. Anybody that hasn't seen Unforgiven, very, very highly recommended. Just go in understanding that it's a slow burn.
I was real big on Outlaw Josie Wales. That was my. I love all the characters that he encounters in that movie. And they all get their little piece. That was always my favorite. That one and Pale Rider, but I mean for the Eastwood.
Yeah, I mean for the Eastwood movies, of course. For me, it's it's all about the Leone movies. It's all
about
I
get that spaghetti.
Yeah, man. Oh God, yeah. Those
Dollars
are the
trilogy.
Dollars trilogy.
Mhm.
Interesting thing about the Dollars trilogy, and I never ever understood this, and when my entire life I went like 40 years without understanding this, but Alex Cox, best known for Repo Man, in his book, got it right here, 10,000 Ways to Die. This is excellent. If you're interested in Italian Westerns, go pick this up. But he points out, and it's so obvious now that I look at it, that the Dollars trilogy is a trilogy in reverse. That the ending is Fistful of Dollars, and that For a Few Dollars More is a prequel to that, and then The Good, the Bad, the Ugly is a prequel to that.
You just blew my mind, man.
Yeah, it's just like
right.
I did
but
not
it's
know
true.
that.
It's true. It's right, because it's like the character's arc is finished in Fistful of Dollars. He needs to make a choice, right? And is good versus evil, right? And he's not a good man.
Mm-hmm.
But he does something totally self-sacrificing and totally selfless, and totally heroic in that film, and twice, right?
It's kind of an interesting way to get around the whole sequel thing. When you have the sequel to such a great movie, usually the sequel's a letdown. But what they did, they were like, all right, well, we did the character arc. what do we do now? And they're like, well, why don't we see what was before this? And then they're like, okay, well, this is a great movie. Where do we go now? Let's just go before that too.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah,
It's just a
it was.
creative way to get around it.
Yeah, totally. That second movie, oh my God, it's got to be better than the first. You know,
I love
no matter
so
what
much.
it is.
Well, they progressively get better.
Yeah.
And then Once Upon a Time in the West comes out, not part of the Dollars trilogy.
Right.
It's my favorite of those movies. I love that movie.
Fucking
so
shots, man. Oh man.
My God. Yeah. Bronson
Panorama
in that movie.
But even Once Upon a Time in the West has a connection to the Dollars trilogy. It's like the first three guys that were killed by Bronson.
Right.
He
That's him
wanted to
killing
get
those
those
characters.
actors.
Yeah.
He was originally going to get Eastwood.
I think that's insane, though.
Yes, I honestly, I think it would have hurt the film. I think it would have. We got Woody Strode, we got Jack Elam, and then that guy that's in a.
But symbolically, you know what he means. You know, the old West
Yes.
is dying, and that's the whole movie. It's the old
Yes.
West is dying, the old ways, everything.
Yeah.
Civilization's coming, and all these guns are.
It's kind of what the Shootist was
useless.
about too. You talk about that movie with
Yes.
John Wayne. I mean, that's
Oh
a
my
phenomenal
God.
movie. It's not a
That
spaghetti
is.
western, but I mean,
But it deals with the same issues. Yeah.
Yeah, the great thing
The end of
about
the
that
West.
was that Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne were actually really close in real life, and John Wayne was deathly sick with cancer when that movie was coming out, and the character in the movie also had cancer.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Stewart would sit across from him, and he wouldn't be able to finish scenes because he'd have to walk away because he was so close to John that, watching him talk about dying and being at the end of his life and, the end of an era, the end of this whole thing that like because John Wayne had started acting, I think, in the 20s. And, this is
he
here
did.
into the 70s. This is the end of his career. He's dying of cancer. And so, like, Jimmy Stewart would have to get up and actually physically leave the set because he'd just be so distraught sitting across from his friend talking about that.
Jesus.
It's such a brilliant movie, and the chemistry between them is phenomenal.
That
John
it
Wayne
turned out
started
so
as
beautifully.
he started as one of those scene cowboys, like Gene
Yes.
Autry.
Yes.
But then they found out that it was the director's brother that was singing. So when he would go on to promote the movies, everyone wanted him to sing a song, and he just got tired of singing. So he's like, we got to do something different. And that's when he did the Ford movie Stagecoach.
You're one trick pony.
Yeah, which is an amazing movie. Still holds up so brilliantly, so
Yeah, it's
beautifully.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. Fantastic. And yeah, with the singing cowboys, then that brings us into the future with Paint Your Wagon, which I think is terribly underrated and misunderstood, right? For those of you who haven't seen it, Paint Your Wagon, it's
Haven't
a
seen it.
musical. Clint Eastwood sings.
Mm.
Okay.
I'm in.
And yeah. Not Bertha Lancaster. Lee Marvin is in that too, and he sings too. But what people don't understand about that movie is that that the actors aren't cast because they can sing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're not supposed to sound good.
Right.
And there's something about that approach where it's just like, oh, you can't sing? We'll sing anyway.
Yeah.
And give us some heart. And maybe your instrument isn't any good, but
It's
give
character.
it exactly. And so it's been on so many like worst movies lists. At least it used to be. And I'm just like, bullshit. That's a really good movie.
But is it Blazing Saddles singing good?
Well, no, nothing is.
Nothing is Blazing Saddles.
Nothing is.
No one's as fast as Gene Wilder to draw.
Yeah, man.
This is my shoot, man.
And it's interesting because, of course, Blazing Saddles is a satire on the American Western.
Sure.
Yeah.
And co-written by Richard Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Richard Pryor was like the rawest MFer ever.
Yeah, man. Like Selena and I just rewatched Blazing Saddles, I think maybe like a month or two ago, and it's still so good.
Oh, so good.
And-
it's fantastic.
And it's one of those films like as becoming more and more common these days, unfortunately, where you just go, this couldn't be made today.
Just like history, man. History is so good
absolutely
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well,
Yeah.
think about you think about the genius of Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
You know, people that have never seen a Western are still going to find that movie hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the people like I know millennials, they've never seen like the original Universal monster movies. They've never seen Frankenstein or Bride of Frankenstein or Son of Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
And Young Frankenstein is a direct satire on Son of Frankenstein.
Yep.
And I know horror fans who have never seen Son of Frankenstein, and they're missing out. It's a great movie. It's not as good. It's a little maybe a little bit of a drop off from like Bride of Frankenstein, but what is as good as Bride of Frankenstein? Not much, right? And they still find it hilarious. And if you can do that where people aren't getting the jokes, they're not getting the references, and they're still laughing their asses off, then you're doing something right.
Right.
For sure.
My wife has never actually seen Blazing Saddles, and I've shown her clips on YouTube, and she just stares at me with her mouth open, like that scene when the sheriff first gets into town, when he's yelling and you can hear in the back. Oh my God, she was just sitting there looking at it like, how is this still on YouTube?
Right.
And it's like I don't know how it's not taken down, but it's funny as hell.
And then to get out of it, and then to get out of it, he pulls the gun on himself.
Oh man,
shoot him! Don't leave me.
Hysterical.
And he kicks the door
Right.
away.
And it's not a racist movie. It's about racism. Those are totally different things.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so
Exactly.
brilliant. Such
But
a
that's
brilliant
too nuanced for
They won't get it.
No, they won't. But
It's
you know what's interesting? You'll be amazed at how many streams there are or videos on YouTube of young people like millennials, watching Blazing Saddles for the first time. And you know what? They always love it.
Good.
They do get it. They do get it. Like,
hilarious.
this isn't racist. This is about racism. Totally
Exactly.
right. And oh my God, yeah. No, I mean, that's why I'm such a potty mouth, is because of Richard Pryor. Because I had like really permissive parents that let me like watch anything, and we were like the first family to have cable TV in our neighborhood.
Sweet.
So yeah, so I grew up with like Richard Pryor and oh God, like a bunch of other really naughty stuff. But back to Westerns. What is it that you think it is about the Western that makes it so timeless? That makes it still a viable genre, even though now, of course, it's been very much out of favor. I always like to say that the Western isn't dead, it's just sleeping.
It's so close. I think it's because it's the apocalypse. It's so close to us. You know what I mean? And that ideal is not going to end anytime soon, as far as I'm concerned. And when I was a kid, I didn't know what that was. I hated Westerns, and now I can't. If I go get an oil change and Bonanza comes on, I'm going to sit there and watch it. But personally, I think it's we're on the cusp of that, so we could relate to that. And then the characters, it's just down to that, and it's usually one or two things in the story. But I think it's the post-apocalypticness of the Western.
It's interesting that you use that you bring up that term, because there's something about the Italian Westerns, I think, that's especially apocalyptic. That have, that a lot of them have a very apocalyptic feel to them, because the world that they depict is so brutal.
Yeah.
And, I can't say that they're historically accurate or even close to realistic. I mean, you've got people that are, you know, making like 50-yard shots with like cold peacemakers, not even cold peacemakers, with like cap and ball, like Navy Colts,
Right.
and knocking like one little part
Fly.
of like like one
Piece of rope.
No. There's like
The
a
hangman's
shot.
noose.
There's a like my favorite is, and for a few dollars more, where like one of Indio's gang just like boom knocks a door open, kapaw, and you see this spur spinning, zzz, and then it stops, and you see one of the little like prick points has just been like knocked off. Yeah, so I mean, you wouldn't confuse. They're not trying to like give you an idea of like the real world. Oh
Right.
crap! Who did we just lose? Did we lose
Middleton.
Middleton? Okay, let me get him back on here.
I think Graham's trying to get in too.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that.
Oh, we got Octopus Cowboy. And
Am I through?
let's see. Do I have like a limit to people that I can add to the stream? Do we got everybody here?
Is Graham on? Graham Nolan's trying to get
Sorry,
in from the chat.
Gave out there for a second.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, Graham.
Said pop me in.
Okay, let me see. All right, is he? This is my first stream, folks, so please be patient with me. No, wait, that was the dope ass intro. Graham, I don't see you here. Have you clicked the link? Oh, by the way, how many people can I add in StreamYards? How many people can I have?
I thought it was like
I've
10.
seen 8.
I don't know about the non-paid version.
I think the non-paid is
think
9
it's-
total.
It's 9 total. Okay.
I
All
think.
right. Okay, because we would love to get the great Graham Nolan in here and hear his thoughts.
And it's a beautiful book. Look, sorry.
Oh wait. Let me see. Oh yeah, you got that right. And yeah, we are going to be taking a look at everybody's books because we have got a bunch of real beauts.
Hey Brian, if you want, I could step out real quick and let Graham come in and then hang around and
Yeah,
back
no,
in.
I mean that is very noble of you. Could you do that just so I could see, like, if then suddenly he's available? And don't worry, dude. We'll like, please, if you know, hang
Yeah,
out and we'll have you back on.
yeah,
Just
just
look
I think you can remove me or I'll leave studio and I'll just watch on YouTube and then
Oh, but if I, you know, I've got the cursor over your face and it says remove, and
yeah, do that.
Oh.
And then you can probably do Graham in the
Right,
in the green room.
right.
That'll send me to the green room.
All right, I apologize in advance because okay, that hurt. All right, Graham, I'm sorry, I don't see you, brother. Did you click on the link that's in the chat? Let me take a look at the private chat and see if maybe I can add the link there.
Yeah, if he's not down below, like in the waiting room area tab, he might have like stepped in and stepped out after a couple minutes.
Oh, okay. It was just like, these guys are carrying on about some bullshit. But Graham, if you're still out there, please do join us. Would be nice to have you.
Derek Clay says the spaghetti westerns were so much like comics. That's true.
Oh, it's so true.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were. And one of the things that's very comic booky about them is they don't have any of that stuff that kids don't like. There's no kissy, smoochy, smoochy. You know, when you're at that age, you know, before girls start looking interesting to you, when they're icky, they move really fast. They're loaded with action, and the characters are very broad.
Yeah.
I think it was it was, of course, the it was they're very early in Italian westerns. They look a lot and sound a lot like American westerns because they wanted to convince the audience that they were watching an American western. right? But then then Yojimbo came out, and that really gave us the anti-hero.
Mhm. Mhm.
And Leone saw that and was like, I want to do a remake of that, but as a Western. And he was told the producers, like, you're gonna go secure the rights, and I'll make this movie. And they'd been shooting peplums, sword and sandal movies in Almeria in Spain. And Sergio Corbucci went on to direct masterpieces like Django and the Great Silence. He and Leone were just looking over the landscape, and they were like, and Corbucci said, "You know what? I bet you we could get away with shooting a Western here."
Oh yeah.
And so Leone had seen Yojimbo. The producer said that they procured the rights. He shot the movie. He gets a letter from Akira Kurosawa, and he says, "Bruh, I seen the movie. I love it. It's amazing. It's brilliant. Yeah, I'm gonna sue your ass." And Leone went to the producers. He was like, "I thought you secured the rights," and they're like, "Eh." Yeah, so yeah.
When we
Oh,
said
man.
we did, we meant we didn't.
Yes. Well, yeah, the Italians were always very loose about that sort of thing. They were releasing sequels like, Zombies, a very famous Lucio Fulci Italian zombie movie, and it was released as Zombie 2 because Dawn of the Dead was released as Zombie. And
Right.
we make a Zombie 2. Oh, so you have the rights? No, we just make a Zombie 2. And yeah, so it was similar to that. Another bit of trivia. I'm gonna shut up here in a second. But another bit of trivia is that Clint Eastwood was, I think, the 7th choice to play the Man with No Name. That list included, I think, Henry Fonda, Burt Lancaster, Charles Bronson. A bunch of guys, and yeah, and number 7 was this TV actor that was on Gunsmoke.
Burt
And
Reynolds?
you know what? He may have been. And I know Burt Reynolds, of course, went on to do Navajo Joe.
Yep.
Which is a Corbucci movie, and he was very disappointed, but he felt he'd been baited and switched because he thought that Leone was going to be directing that one. But that ended up not.
He was Native American too, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. And so the Italians were the first ones really to introduce Native American and Mexican heroes. Although the Mexicans were always played by Spaniards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Gilbert Roland, he's like the only Mexican actor that played a Mexican.
The Mexicans were played by Spaniards. The Americans were played by the Italians. The Italians were played by the Germans.
Where did cowboys come from? Do you guys know where cowboys came from?
Vaqueros.
Where did vaqueros come from?
Mexico.
Spain.
Yep.
Where the Spaniards learn how to do?
Yeah, Spain too.
So where the Spaniards learn how to cattle ranch?
That I don't know.
So it was the peninsula. I believe it was the Arabians that came over there from the Middle East. They taught them how to do it.
No
Then
shit.
the vaqueros, they taught the Mexicans, and the Mexicans taught the buckaroos.
No
I did a
kidding.
little research because I wanted to know where it all fucking started. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah. So the Middle East is where the first cowboys, the Middle Easterns.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea. Jeez, and I thought I'd done my
sense.
research. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, it makes
that's
total sense.
peninsula.
Makes total sense.
The Spanish Peninsula, you know?
Right, and those beautiful Arabian horses.
Mhm.
Wow,
Mm.
dude, thank you for the history lesson. But what are we looking at here? We're looking at Octopus Cowboy #1. Jason, do you want to tell us about this? And
Yeah.
congratulations, by the way. Congratulations. You're at 7K, dude.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
congrats.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, man. Congrats.
It's a first campaign, as I said. Also, although it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets spaghetti westerns, that's very loose description of it. It's about Pacific octopus who is captured by man and made to fight in a brutal blood sport for gambling and entertainment. And you see here, this is the first page. That classic shot of the creature with no name entering
Love it.
town.
The stranger.
Exactly. So yeah, and I came up with this last year. It was supposed to be for a friend. You know, like when COVID happened, plans just flew out the window. Had no idea. I had a lot of time. Suddenly, had a lot of time, and I haven't drawn comics for many, many years actually.
Really?
For 14 years, I think. Because after comics, I went to
around.
advertising and storyboarding, but here and there,
Right.
I did
Right.
art still. I was still in that
Right.
industry.
Right.
And when this came, I said to myself, okay, I have to do it. And anytime I had a doubt, I would just go to this. This is like maybe the second piece of artwork.
That's cash money right there, brother.
Yeah,
That's cash money. Like, ching, sold.
exactly.
The person
And I thought-
that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I said every time I had a doubt, I would look at this. I said it's so ridiculous. I said it's ridiculous, but okay. So I drew like 52 pages of it, and that's how I developed it. Okay, but after that, I threw that out, and I said because it looks like what somebody would buy this for, what somebody would initially think about. This is what this when you say Octopus Cowboy and you buy that book. Oh, okay, this is what I thought it would be, and it's, okay, it can't be like that. So I tweeted it as serious as I can, and I came up with a story about him being resurrected by the sea and washes ashore, captured by man. And then I thought of the themes. The theme that comes in with is animal cruelty, man versus beast, survival, fish out of water, all that. So all that is there. And I treated him like an infant. Like he's not aware of what it's like in land to survive in the West.
It's literally a different world.
Exactly. And what would happen if the man who possesses him, captures him, and keeps him, is the worst possible person you can find. So it's that person uses him to make money, and he doesn't care. He's tough. He cares because he wants to survive also. But how does that imprint on the Slade, the octopus? How does that imprint on him? And what happens when he escapes? He would seek vengeance, right? And so he witnesses an assassination. He sees somebody use a gun, and from that point on, he collected as many guns as he could, and he saw the power of that gun, how he could defend him, because he can survive a day. Okay, he's evolved, he's transformed, but he's still weak because of dehydration. It's not his element. So we knew
no kidding.
So a guy can just shoot him and run away to the mountains, but then how does he pursue that? So that's where your story comes in.
And
of course, what would happen is it would rain, right? It would rain, and then it comes. Then that revenge comes. So that's what I thought.
Oh, and that's a great image too.
Yeah.
Right, coming with the rain. He comes with the rain.
Exactly.
Right. And I'm so happy you understand like what I understood with like Six Gun Gorilla. This sort of a thing, you want to play it straight because it's more fun if you play it straight.
Yeah.
Like comics these days, everything's always winking at you and like, see, yeah, right, we're in on the joke.
Yeah, breaking the fourth wall and all that. You have to know your genre. People don't stick to genres anymore. Even like superhero movies nowadays, everything's a comedy. I mean, it's not a comedy. Man.
I know.
I mean, that's just on the side.
It's less fun. It's less fun that way, right? But then you also don't want to make it ponderous, like Ang Lee's Hulk movie, which
Right.
I know has its devotees, and there are people who really love that movie and are staunch defenders of it. But I was just like, okay, he's taking the subject material seriously, but now it's ponderous,
Yeah.
right? Like, where's the fun?
I'll give you an idea. Okay, I'll give you an issue. I think I was in a Pops Van Zandt show, Pops and Piper, and they asked me,
Love
"Oh, well,
that.
does he squirt ink?" I said, "Well, yes, of course. It's an octopus." But I said,
Right.
well, will he use it in a fight? I'm like, I handle him very carefully, man, because that could instantly be uncool. It would be wacky.
Exactly.
What could happen though is somebody could spit on one of his arms with tobacco, and then he spits ink back. You know what I mean? Now that's cool.
Yeah,
But if he
turn it
uses
right.
ink to kill somebody, he doesn't need to use ink. He uses guns
And
right?
tomahawks too. God damn.
and tomahawks, Winchester, Spencer. You know, so you have to. I have to be so very careful with them. Even the shots, even the angles. Okay, even the angles that I use. You know, everything, because it
Beautiful.
could easily be wacky.
Look at this. I love this. Beautiful, like what looks like concept art. Man, and you can draw the shit out of a gorilla. Can I just say that?
Thank you.
I mean, this just look. Oh God. Yeah, this is. I mean, naturally, I'm a sucker for this. You know,
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
like the person that would be in a comic book store that would walk, by the shelves and look at all the different books and look at the cover for this and not at least pick it up and flip through it. I don't understand that cat.
Right?
I
Yeah,
don't.
if I seen it, I'd be like, what the fuck? And I pick it up and like, oh, wow. You know what I
At
mean?
least, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is
Totally.
this?
Hell yeah. I'd
Oh.
buy that shit.
Oh, the art is so beautiful, man. But you see,
Yeah.
that's one of the issues, one of the problems with the art world is that there are so many really talented people like you. We lose them to Hollywood. We lose them to advertising. And that's great that you've come back to comics, man. Welcome back. Welcome back
Thank
home.
you.
You got it,
Like
man.
I said, I didn't plan it. I spent years and years, many years just staring at light boxes and screens. I didn't want to do that anymore, man. To tell you honestly. And guess what I'm doing now more than ever?
Of
Staring at
course,
light
yeah, but
boxes and the Wacom tablet and everything when I ink it.
But when you get that book printed and you ship it out and you see it in people's hands,
Yeah.
that's going to be the moment. That's what it's all about. When it's in your own hands, that's really cool. When you hear the doorbell ring, ding, and there are the big boxes from Mixum or Greco or wherever you're
Mixum,
gonna, wherever your printer's gonna be, that moment kicks ass. Fulfillment doesn't, like actually having to, bag and box everything. That's like a pain in the ass, but it's a good pain in the ass. And oh boy, but when you see the book in people's hands, and of course, like I love the fact that you have a digital tier.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of debate in our community over whether or not to have a digital tier. I always think it's a good idea, especially for people that are foreign backers and they don't want to have to pay $26, $27 for shipping and handling. How many pages is this book going to be? Do you think? I mean,
107, but it's looking
Damn.
like 110, 112.
Nice.
Painful.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I kicked myself in the ass at first for making my first campaign for a trade paperback of like 6 Gun 1 through 6. I was like, damn it, yeah, I should have done issue 1 and issue 2, but you want to get them. You want to hit your audience with your best shot right off the bat. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't want to do 24 pages and then 24 pages. And so by all means, man, I think that's a great thing. You want to put your best foot forward.
That's right. And the value also will be there. And Yeah, dude. When I started, I had like 12 Twitter followers. I didn't. I started from scratch again, basically. So it's. I mean, and to make it this far, I'm like, that's amazing. You know.
That's this
So
community. That's this
yeah,
community. Yeah,
and
man.
when you're saying like go to mainstream this and that, look what's happening in mainstream. You know, going that direction alone would probably change the project because
Oh
you have
yeah.
to please this and that, and you have to think of, I don't know. There are a lot of external factors. It might not. It should not. Okay,
It should
but
not.
it
Yeah.
should not. But I like the small business element in
Yeah, me
doing
too.
your own thing, going independent, and it keeps you on your toes. You got to learn everything, you know.
Yeah, you do. You
So,
do. But that's the thing is, this is a community where people will teach you that stuff quick, because even people that are on I'm on my third campaign, or you have people like like Vinny Taramella, the fulfillment king, right? Who's on I think his like eighth campaign. We're all happy to just give people tips and everything, and just share information, because guess what? We were where you were like yesterday,
Absolutely.
right? So we really can relate. And and you hope, of course, onward and upward into the future, but that we will always remain accessible, and anybody can walk in through the door. If if you don't have a sense of entitlement and your book looks dope, you're in. And the mainstream, they're all backstabbing each other and gatekeeping, and we're not. We're gate opening.
Yeah.
Heck, even if your book doesn't look dope, even if your book looks like shit, we'll still help you promote it and everything, because you never know. I've seen people leveling up in this scene in like a major way, and people whose first books maybe, I'm not going to name any names, whose first books maybe didn't necessarily look totally professional, but it's like, well, I'm going to back that book, and then we'll see what their next book looks like, and the next book after that. And so I just feel like our backers have like a wonderful opportunity, and as a backer, I feel like it's this rare opportunity to watch people growing and leveling up and improving their craft. But yeah, folks, go check this out. It's it's in demand.
yeah, it's in
Yeah,
demand.
baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, go check this out, people. It's legit. Yeah, dude. Jason, thank you for coming back to comics. You came home.
Thank you.
You came home.
I did.
All right, let's see. How do I do this? How do we look at? Because we got to look at. Take it. I mean, we'll get back to talking about westerns, but I also want to. Let's see. How do we look at? Let's see. Just muted myself. Matt, can we take a look at Butch Cleaver? Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure. Let's see here.
I mean, I've got everybody's looks like queued up.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. How do I do that, though? How do I do that? Oh, wait a second. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Right, because then I can just click, I think. Let's see. Do I share my screen? Let's see. Her. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure this shit out. Be patient with me, folks. Be patient with me. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Matt, can you just share your screen? And then I think.
For sure. Let's see here.
Right. And Jason, did I just mute you, or did you just mute yourself?
No, I muted myself. I'm just
Oh,
gonna
okay.
get some water. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I was okay. Sorry about that. I was afraid that I'd. Okay. but I muted him by accident. And oh, there we go. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Share screen. Oh, okay. All right. Hold on. Select window or screen. Okay, that looks very busy. All right. How are you looking now?
All right.
Is that it right there? Because
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, dude, give us the elevator pitch.
Sure. So basically, it's Are you okay? Cool, you got it. So basically, it's it's a gothic horror western. If you threw Swamp Thing, Batman, Jonah Hex, and Hellboy into a meat grinder, Butch Cleaver would come out, and then you could throw him on a Sam Raimi grill. So
Nice.
Evil Dead and Quick and the Dead. And in the first book, basically, it's about Butch. He gets killed and he's brought back to life by a voodoo curse, and that curse gives him the power to weaponize bone on a molecular level. Although he's not going to be talking molecules because he's blue collar in the Wild West in the 1800s, and it takes place in this town called Oubliette. And the town basically is pretty gothic. I wanted it to be a town that was built by artisans from the old world sometime. You don't know when, and it's actually takes place in a parallel reality to the 1800s of America. But I'm not going to go into that too much in this book. But that's it. And in the first book, he's resurrected. He's trying to find out who killed him, and he's taken out some people, and he has a bounty hunter on his trail. And in the second book, he's basically talking about his past, and you're going to find out, is he going to cut your heart out, or are you going to get your heart torn out? Because I want I wanted the you to be able to see his origin story. So is he going to be Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, or is he going to be someone else, someone with redeemable qualities possibly? So the title of this one is Butch Cleaver 2. See the victim, the villain, or the victor. And the person that put the curse on him is the voodoo doll, and that's him right there. He's this preacher pimp. So he's got this establishment in the front of the house. It's called the House of Love, where he's doing his own religion. And in the back, it's the dollhouse. So he's got all these pimps, and you're going to see Butch, coming up through the ranks when he's a kid. Man, you're going to see his family, like where they met. His family met in Ireland. So his half of his family's English, the other half is I'm going into a little deep dive, but not too spoilery. And the other half is Irish. There's Catholic and Christian, and they're kind of having a little clash, and that's why they come to the Americas. His mom and his dad, and there's a little scene right there where he's taking out some pimps. He's trying to collect, and they don't want to give him any money.
So he gave him some lead.
Yeah, filling full of 30.
Oh man, yeah, you didn't skimp on the on the red stuff in this, did you?
Yeah, I'm really I like a lot of blood and gore with my horror stuff, and
me too.
I wanted to make a world too where I can bring in not just like 1800 stuff, but anything before that. So I really love pirates and cowboys, Native Americans. I like Vikings. So there's a Viking meat hall in there where his buddy is Vargbjorn. He's this bartender, and he's also got another buddy in there named Chieftain Wallace, and he's part Native American and part Scottish. So you might see a little bit more of them in the next book, and that right there is his bull Tor. That's like his Batmobile and his Robin put together.
I was going to ask. I was going to ask about his beastie.
Yeah, that's his.
And I love this shot too, right here, where he's just like launching himself like a bat and flying down and landing on his steed.
Yeah, that's his house, and he's trying to solve his murder, and he's trying to solve something else too. I don't want to give too much away, but that was his dad's slaughterhouse, and a lot of the buildings in the town, a lot of the slaughterhouses were cathedrals, so they've been converted into cathedrals or into slaughterhouses now. Sorry. So
that's gothic as AF.
I just really was into that, and that's basically some of the stuff that's going on in there. And also with this book, the sequel, in the first half, it's going to be like again a deep dive into his past. In the second half, where it picks up from the first book. It's going to be kind of like a nod to Dread or the Raid, where he's going up into the Voodoo Dolls establishment and he's taking out different lieutenants as he gets up to the top, without spoiling too much. So he's gonna come into contact with a lot of different characters, and right there he's taking on some voodoo doll zombies. I had never seen those before, so I wanted to bring them into my comic. So that's some stuff right there, and everyone that backs is gonna get a lot of stuff every Wednesday. So tonight at midnight, I'm gonna announce another tchotchke. Basically, I got CGs or campaign gifts. So tonight I'm gonna announce another thing, probably around midnight, of something else I'm gonna give to the backers. First 100 backers are gonna get a bottle opener, lots of cool stuff.
You know, I love when people keep finding like new things, like Don Chin for Beardserker has like this little Beardserker guitar pick.
Oh, I love it, man.
Right, and you've got a bottle opener. I mean, that's got to be the first CG bottle opener right there.
Got one right here for Metal Movies and Brewskis.
Oh, wait, hold on. Right, let me switch here.
And it's made by the CG Metalsmith Phoenix Animation. So hopefully, if we fund the book, the first 100 backers are going to get this. So
beautiful.
That's the goal, man. And hopefully I get this book made. I have a trilogy planned out. You know what I mean? And I'm really excited about this book. I'm excited about the next one. And yeah, man, if you like Westerns, you might like this. Obviously, it's gonna be a little different than the normal Western, but yeah, man, I think you'll like it if you're into Westerns.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, it looks really cool. It looks really different. It's blood soaked. Real quick, how many of you guys have seen horror westerns or familiar with like that subgenre? Because it's there aren't a lot of them.
No, there's like maybe 15 or something like that. I think 15 or 20. I mean, you got Bone Tomahawk. You got the Burrowers.
Yes.
There's some old ones too. I can't even name the names of them.
Billy the Kid meets Dracula.
The Gallowalkers. You ever heard of Gallowalkers? Wesley Snipes. That one's pretty crazy.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Oh God, Glenn Danzig.
Oh yeah, the new one with the vampires and his new movie.
Yeah.
I want to watch that. And then Nicolas Cage has a samurai western coming out, like a post-apocalyptic samurai western. His new movie trailer just dropped about 6 days ago. Looks tight.
Yeah. That looks dope. But I mean, a little off topic here. Old punk rocker, huge Misfits fan. I remember running into Glenn Danzig at a Creation comic book convention. Actually, back then there were more like Star Trek conventions, but and then it went from like Star Trek to Doctor Who. But there was also always a comic book conventions, right? And I remember going through some books, and my friend was right next to me. He goes, "Oh, hey, what's up, Glenn?" This is like when he was in Sam Hain, right? And so we were talking to him and everything, and he was like really humble and just kind of like happy just to kind of like be like noticed like a celebrity. Huge Misfits fan, huge like early Danzig fan, and his first movie, it's a horror anthology. It's called Veronica, and it is the room of horror films.
Yeah, it's really bad, man. It's really bad.
It's really bad. But I don't even think it's like The Room in the sense that The Room is still fascinating and entertaining, right? And so I saw the trailer for Glenn's new picture, and I'm just like, oh man, oh God, don't, God bless him. Maybe he'll do something good, but I'm not holding out hope. Let's just say my money isn't on that being a good movie. He did get Danny Trejo.
Yeah, he got him. Danny pops up in a lot of stuff. I was watching Meet the Blacks too.
Everything.
He's like, I'm the Mexican Blade, Holmes.
He's in every. What he's
Girls can do stuff now.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Danny Trejo is the B movie Idris Elba. He's
Bruce Campbell He's Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, man. With Danny, if the check clears, he'll do it. Like,
yeah. But I'm thinking Michael Fassbender and Idris Elba, like those dudes, they're in everything. like any new movie that comes out, like they're in it, but you're never like sorry to see them. You know
Samuel
what I mean?
Jackson too, man. That guy works.
Sam Jackson too. Yeah. It's like he's in everything, but like you're okay with him kind of being.
And Nick Cage kind of sort of. I mean, he's getting his like Mandy production going, but yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. He's getting some
Mandy
better.
was amazing.
His movies are getting better, dude. I'm sorry, dude, but his movies are, for me, anyways, are entertaining. Like The Color Out of Space.
Best Lovecraft
Mandy
movie
production.
ever. Yeah.
I've heard lots of people giving a lot of credit to Pig. I want to check that one out.
Yeah, I want to see that too. Like consecutively, his movies have been pretty good. Like maybe hit or miss one, but they've been good like the last 30 years, I think.
Well, here's the thing. It's like he started out. Boy, we're getting off topic here, but he started out with, him doing crappy movies because of the IRS. He had IRS issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was literally taking anything.
Yeah.
And that damaged his reputation in a major way. But this ended up being a good thing because it drove him into the B movie world.
Oh yeah.
And he's like having fun there. And he says
It's
now,
bold.
like he looks back at like the Hollywood world. He's like, I can't even relate to that anymore.
Yeah, you can't go back. Yeah, like
they're
Disney
making like
too.
real.
He's like, I'm not going back, dude. Maybe people are scared there. That's what he said.
Yeah, and it's just like, and let's face it, man. I mean, who does a better on-screen meltdown?
I love Nicolas Cage.
You come to expect it.
He's awesome, bro. He's like the only one like
so
doing the bold shit right now. I'm sorry.
The new shit. Yeah. Panos Cosmatos, Behind the Blue Rainbow. He did Mandy.
Yeah.
After that, and it's like he's one of those dudes where it's just like, oh, there's like the new Romero, there's like the new Carpenter, right? Because that's one of the things we're missing from this era, just as horror fans, is we don't have those visionaries. It's like who do we have? Who do we have? Rob Zombie and Eli Roth
and Juan. That's pretty much it.
And Juan, who like.
But I like Juan. I'm sorry, I like Juan. I love his movies. I don't care though. I'm not afraid to love or hate anything.
Death Sentence I think is his best. Is his
oh
best
yeah,
movie,
Charles Bronson with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
But it's good.
No, he's a really good filmmaker. It's just like, he's somebody that should get back to his roots and start doing more low budget shit and less. Disney shit. Although I liked parts of Aquaman, there was just like you could have cut an hour out of that movie and just had a much better movie. But you could say that about pretty much any contemporary movie these days.
Someone was saying something about Pale Rider about that kind of is a little bit of horrific in some ways, like or at least supernatural undertones. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude,
I love Pale Rider.
Dude, overtones. Because, and I have this debate with a lot of my friends at the end, because I'm like, look, dude, he's dead. He's a ghost or a revenant of some kind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He came back to avenge his own murder because also there is that element of High Noon, where like he defended that town with his life, and nobody fucking lifted a finger to fucking help him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
At the end, you see him in front of his own grave, and then you see him literally riding off into the distance.
Yeah.
with like the heat waves disappear.
I was trying to draw that. I'm sorry, but it's to get that fucking mirage, that heat where it's where it's liquefied when you're staring at the heat in the desert from the western. It's hard to. It's hard to get that visually sometimes.
Well, what's interesting? I see people sometimes artists doing effects like that with computers and comics, and I hate it.
I tried to do it with the ink, but it was hard.
Although that's an interesting challenge. All you artists out there, can you draw a heat wave? I don't ever recall seeing somebody drawing a heat wave well. Although God, I've read so many Western comics. What kind of Western comics have you guys dug? I got my old Jonah Hex TPB here.
Oh man, I love that shit.
That's very nice.
Yeah, great stuff. This was actually new. It's like already 10 years. I say new. It's like 10 years old. Sergio Aragonés coming back
Oh
to
yeah.
Batlash.
Oh
This is
man.
recommend this. This was really good. Of course, all the old Jonah Hex. The Justin Gray, Jimmy Palmiotti run, I think, is also really, really
Yeah, dude.
great.
It is.
Yeah, it's solid, bro. I even like the new 52 run. That was cool too for a minute.
And
It's
then they fucked up and they went and they did this.
I
Right.
like that one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I disagree.
And
You know why?
Yes.
That one's kind of whack. But I like the first
Yeah.
couple. I like the first few.
yeah.
Because I like seeing Gotham in the old West. I thought that was fun.
Exactly.
And I thought that artist was pretty cool. Was it Moriat or something like that?
More
Yeah.
Mortat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought some of
Yeah.
that stuff was pretty cool.
You can see that's really good art right there, right? And the storytelling and everything. Yeah. No, you're right. Like the first trade
6.
paperback.
Yeah, just that.
I tell you what, this I know I enjoyed this because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have bought this. And this is where they finally what they did was they did what they did in the movies. They took Jonah Hex and made him steampunk.
Yeah. It's hard too. Like, it's hard to make a Western, and you're putting it at the cusp. We're talking about the cusp of the Western, industrial age. You know what I mean? The turn of the century, technology's coming in. I mean, a lot of Westerns, they're dealing with that in the stories. Even the game Red Dead Redemption,
Sure.
that's the end of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard to go in there as a writer or creator with not touching the steam. You know what I mean?
But there's other ways around it.
There is. You just got to research. Like there is though.
There was shit that actually existed.
Yeah,
that will blow your mind. Like
I've seen some motorcycles, dude. Like some crazy shit. If you dig,
Dude, in the Civil War, they had submarines.
Mm-hmm.
What the? I've never seen one of those, or what they looked like. But I'm just like, they had submarines.
Yeah,
those must have been some sketchy motherfuckers, man.
Dude,
can you imagine that?
Just like hot tubs and a bicycle.
Right.
2 hot tubs welded
doors.
together and a bicycle.
I can't imagine that those things went very deep. Do you know what I'm saying? Like just sticking an alligator in the swamp.
They were only good in ponds.
It's an accidental submarine.
Oh my god! But yeah, no, Matt makes a very, very excellent point. If you do your research, the things that you'll find are amazing. In fact, they're often so amazing they're left out of films and television because they're like, nobody's going to believe this.
Gangs of New York.
If we show this. Yeah.
It's not a Western, it's an Eastern, but it's like in the same time.
Yeah.
And you never learn about it in school. And I mean, sorry, but like that was a big influence on Butch Cleaver. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, dude, it is
suspected.
Dude, it's like, oh my God, there was so much stuff going on. And then you have, I mean, I know this is a Western show, but I mean, that time, bro, like the whole 1800s, like across the world. I mean, I think we could tap into that a little bit. You got Jack the Ripper doing all this stuff over here. You got H.H. Holmes, you know what I mean? Coming in over here doing stuff that no one even spoke about. He fucking make him Jack the Ripper look like a choir boy. You know what I mean?
You have Oscar Wilde. You have Oscar Wilde here, and traveling through the Old West, and like saying that that he expected to see like Americans all in buckskins and everything like that. It was just like. The best dressed motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. He was like everybody's wearing like the latest Paris fashions. Like they were just like it was
Sunday's
like what
best.
the yeah. So and so of course that's rich stuff from the imagination. And there've been numerous authors that, for instance, just as an example, have used the Oscar Wilde thing, like in the Jonah Hex series that Jorah Lansdale did. Where the heck is that? With the great Timothy Truman. It's one of my all-time favorite artists. Where the heck is that? I mean, he took a really different approach to Hex that I can understand that like some people might not vibe with, but I can't find it. Like he brought in the supernatural.
Hey, I'm down with that, dude. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's all around us right now, and it always will be.
I agree.
Yeah, it makes it fun too.
Yeah, but I can also understand why some people would be like, oh, because Jonah Hex always walks that fine line,
Yes, exactly.
right? But as a writer, like, oh god, how tempted would you be just to turn a little bit?
Oh
you know?
yeah. It's like get out of there.
Like when they gave him
Factual.
that power in the
Yeah.
movie to
Oh,
talk to the
yeah.
dead, I was actually kind of okay with that.
Yeah, it was cool. You know what's weird about that movie? It's an hour and 10 minutes long.
Is it really? I did not know that.
It's like horrifically short. But I mean,
it's got to be at least 80 minutes. It's got to be at least like 90. Movies these days come out, like the average running time for movies these days is like 2.5 hours.
It's crazy, dude. It's an hour and 10 minutes. Like, go back. I was like,
Really?
what the hell? It's a short movie. And Brolin's perfect for the role, dude.
He is.
You know what I mean?
He is. It's just when he goes to the guy that's very obviously supposed to be like Q from the James Bond movies. I was just like, you're losing me. I'm not saying that I had to turn it off or I'm not even saying that it's a bad movie. I'm just saying that it's not a good Jonah Hex movie.
It's crazy too because it's got Malkovich, Fassbender. It's got Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It's got so many people. I'm like forgetting one other person too that's in there. A big name. Oh, Michael Shannon's in there. It's got so many people.
Like it's ridiculous, completely ridiculous a cast. But now let us take a look at another campaign, shall we?
Hell yeah.
Richard, you want to
Yeah, I got
pimp your shit up, bro.
Sure. Let me share my get my screen ready for you guys.
All right. Yeah, because my screen share before was.
I'm so excited for all these westerns, man. Like they're all different, and like they come at it with like a different angle. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I want to read them all. You know what I mean? I really do. No baloney. They sound so freaking awesome.
Dude, that's why I wanted to do this was because like, holy shit, we're making Western comics. How fucking cool is that? There's because that's one thing I gotta emphasize, man. Whenever you're feeling down, or because sometimes this can be a slog, not just creating art and promoting it and everything like that. Just whenever you're feeling down, fellas, slap yourself upside the head and say to yourself, "I'm making comic books."
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't be depressed doing this shit.
Or you could not be creating something and putting it into the ether. You could just totally not be doing that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And someone might read it and someone might not read it, and that's pretty awesome, I think.
But when you find out that you touched a soul, right? Like when you find out where people are just like, oh, like
what the hell?
Yeah, like the absolute best part of any campaign for me is when people start posting pictures or saying that they got their stuff. Like,
yeah, man.
I'm like, all right, that was all worth it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, little gratitude goes a long way, folks. But yeah, Richard, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I got it. You just got to. Put it up there. You're in control of the battleship, sir.
I told you all I was new at this shit. There we go. All right, that's streaming.
All right, so this is the preview. Like I said, we'll be launching Friday, but I pretty much got everything up. Well, of course I got to change the title and all that. But Devil from Talon Flats. A wounded bounty hunter inherits the enemies of a widow that nursed him back to health. We'll get into some pages. You'll see how that kind of plays out.
I'm just gonna I'm sorry to interrupt you, Richard. I'm just gonna bop upstairs real quick to get a refill.
Sure, no worries, man. So let's see. All right,
pimp that shit, son.
Yeah. So the feature is gonna be covers combo. Basically, I got the standard cover from Mark Savona, Preston Acevedo had a variant, and Keenan White with the variant cover. We're gonna do that for $60. Everything is gonna be free shipping inside the United States. So I thought that would because I always when you back a campaign and you're like, okay, how much I'm gonna pay, then you see the shipping costs, you're like, oh man, it kind of takes away from the enjoyment. So I was like, you know what, my next campaign I'm just gonna include shipping in it. So this time I'm also offering digital. So I did this for two reasons. One is for international folks that don't want to pay for the shipping; they can get the digital. And then two is I'm a new creator to a lot of people, so it gives the people like a lower entry level to get in and see what this is about, and possibly back future projects. So and then we have a digital combo. So you get Talon Flats, Alaska Buy. Alaska Buy was the last campaign that funded. Got really good reviews, so I was happy about that, and no complaints on the fulfillment. So I was really happy about that. Yeah. Let's see what else we have. Okay. Also, this is the standard cover, Mark Savona. Again, standard cover, 25. That includes free shipping in the U.S. And then over here we have the Canaan White cover, and again 25, and the Indiegogo exclusive cover. So this is Preston's cover. Man, this is going to be only for sale in print on this campaign, this Indiegogo campaign. And we get a bigger look at the Preston cover. Then we have the comic and shirt. So basically, you pick one cover and you get one shirt. You get that mailed to you for $50. And then here's my my solution: is international combo, 75, and that includes shipping. So you get all three covers. If you're in the UK, 75 out the door, and you get it shipped to you. That was my solution. Like I said, I can't change international shipping. I'm not that powerful. I'm just a little dude making a Western comic. So
It is what it is.
Dude,
Yeah.
we all hate it. That is
Yeah.
one thing that we all fucking hate is having to charge people $28 for shipping.
Yeah. So this is my solution. I'm just like, here. And last time when I shipped it, man, dude, I don't know if the lady ripped me off because I'm hearing like 28. I hear like 40. I think 35, 45. But when I shipped it to Australia, they charged me $60, and I ended up paying someone $10 to read my read my comic. So I hope they liked it. I paid, I lost $10 on that deal, so I can't take a loss like that.
No,
Did
no,
you
no.
also
Yeah.
pay the tax for that?
I don't know what it was.
That's probably
you
what
know-
happened, man.
Yeah, probably. I don't understand what it was. I went to because I shipped everything else through Pirate Ship, which was amazing in the US. Canada and the UK and the one Australian book. I went to because I everywhere in the world I put $25 shipping. I'm like, oh, that'll cover it. If it comes out at 28, I'll eat $3. That's like nothing. And I went to this mom and pop like mail outpost, which is known to be really cheap, really help us out, as far as shipping before. And when she's like, oh, this is gonna be a lot, I'm like, oh, really? She looked at me like, and I'm like, okay, well, I only got so much on the credit card, so let's go package by package. I might just have to come back next week and get the rest of them. And we did it, and yeah, dude, it was it was averaging. UK was like 35 to 40, Canada was 15 to 25, and Australia was like $60. And I think, so I was just like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm just,
Yeah,
I was just
man.
like, okay, and I didn't print that, like, so it was, like I said, it was an experience, but it was like, okay, now I got to protect myself. I got to protect the wallet. I got to charge. But people were like, dude, that's too much. That's too much. That's, $50 shipping. That's crazy. But I mean, it's not me. I'm not making the prices. So this is the only way I can counter off it. $75. Basically, you're getting all of them at 25 a piece. And I'm just, including the shipping for free. So that's
Beautiful.
how I can take care of my international backers. I don't know any other solution, I know Malin said, like, I think he was like, yeah, international shipping is 45, but I'm gonna do it for like 17. I was like, yeah, he can because he's a tax write-off and he just cleared like 100K. You know what I mean? But for a little guy like me, I gotta just, I can afford to. I rather print you more books because that's what I could make the deal sweeter by printing more books because that's something I can change. That's something I can afford. Then eat the cost on the shipping. So at least they'll cover shipping and
Well, here's
So-
here's the thing, brother. It's like we all hate having to charge, like I said, $26, $27, $60 for shipping. My God, man, it's insane. But we have to at least break even and make a little bit of a profit so that we can fund the next book, because that's what it's really about. That's what it's always about, is make enough to fulfill and get the next book made.
Yeah, definitely. This does give me some. The profit line is a little bit slim, but if I can make even $1 and keep a UK fan happy for
Yeah, man.
that's where it's at too, because
Yeah,
then
man.
that person's gonna back me next time, hopefully. I just got to make sure my writing's good. So, because the art's beautiful, I'm like, man,
I know. You and me both, brother. You and me both.
Yeah.
And any comic book writer, artists out there, and any of us, if we're honest with you, we'll tell you that the reason that we write comics is because we can't draw them.
Yes, that is true. That is true. That is so true.
Oh man, yeah.
So,
I backed this. Of course, had to go with the Preston cover.
Thank you.
Preston's my boy. Love that dude.
And then the premiere package, there's gonna be 5 slots available. I'll enter that pretty soon. But join the posse. Like, you get your likeness in the comic, and it doesn't even have to be your likeness. It could be your friends, a family member, a friend. It could be whatever you want. Like, but the person you choose can either be a good guy or a bad guy, and they're going to be in it for a couple pages. You're going to have some speaking lines. You're just not a face in the crowd. Like, stuff's going to happen, and depending if you're a good guy or a bad guy, you may not make it out. So,
yeah, in spectacular fashion, one would hope.
Yeah.
Or you could get your neighbor, and be like, hey, see in this comic book, see that guy swinging from the noose? That's you, bro.
That's you. Step into my lawn again.
Well, I just, that'd be kind of cool if, like a wife or a girlfriend is like, hey, you love Western comics, I'm going to buy this for you and put you in there, or something vice versa. You know what I mean? It's just, or like, something even like more memorable, like, hey, my brother passed away and he liked Westerns, let's put him in here. That would be kind of cool. I would be honored to have something like that in the book, because I've seen people do that with add your likeness. They'll be like, hey, I want to immortalize my brother or whatever, my uncle who loved comics, and it just makes it more more personal. And hey, dude, like I said, I'd be honored to do something like that and make someone happy like that.
Hell yeah. I never. Yeah, I mean, so we had a couple of drawn-in tiers for the new 6-gun, and we didn't get anything like that. The one guy's wanted us to put his son in there. Like just so you know, he's probably like, your son's probably going to be getting a savage beating from a fucking 600-pound gorilla.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. But it's gonna be fun, man. That's what we're gonna do.
Hell yeah.
And then we have, these are the interior pages. Mark's just killing it, dude, and Brian's just killing it on colors, dude. It's just, it's Christmas every email, So
yes, I know the feeling. Yeah. I know the feeling.
I'm like, man, look at those eggs and bacon. I'm just, man, those look better than Denny's menus, man. Denny's has some good menus too, by the way. So that's that's the thing. And then the team,
you just wish that like what they brought you was
I know. Menu. Yeah, that's when the cook isn't up like 10 hours on coke. That happens. Get good stuff like that. So the team, artist Mark, Brian, I got an editor, Vince Moore, who's bringing a lot of comic book knowledge to the project, as far as like retail and writing comic books. He's actually a published writer too. He did with Dynamite, he wrote the Total Recall comic books. So he's been to the big show, and very humble dude, very very cool cat to work with, and all he wants to do is just make this project better. And I'm like, dude, that's totally kind of team player I need. So we got stretch goals. If I hit 10K, I add 6 more pages. 12K, everyone's gonna get a mini poster, and at 15K,
Wait, they're not gonna get that book, are they?
huh?
Oh wait, I just
Like,
like,
you're gonna get
yeah.
this book free. Just kidding.
Oh wait, what happened? You took it. You took me down.
I'm gonna ban it. No. I'm sorry. It's like I saw ad to stream. I thought I was like, oh, maybe that's grammar. So when I clicked on it, and it was the window for Octopus
For my
Cowboy.
book.
Not for your book, for Jason.
Oh, I know. Man, dude,
He's
I got to
crashing.
got to deal with
He's
Jason.
Every
crashing the pitch,
international backer will get an Octopus Cowboy book for Richard.
man. He's invading.
Richard's paying it, bro. You
He's
got to cut me
taking-
a bulk deal. You got to give me a.
But dude, that international, he's stepping up with that international package right there. Like,
yeah, I think that's the way
he
to
gets
do
all
it,
these
man.
other guys' books for free.
We get all our shit for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? There's RJ from Critical Blast. He's working on something about us getting over like that shipping problem. Where maybe like instead of sending like multiple packages to Australia, for instance, I don't know how Michael Bancroft is doing it. I think he's just doing it old school, but there has to be a way where we can either print in another country or make arrangements to have somebody in another country to print over there, or to just have our work printed here and just bulk shipped to somebody over there that will then mail it out for us. We're going to figure this out. That's going to happen. The other thing that I think we personally as a community should be focusing on is translating our books. Translating our books into Spanish, translating our books into French, translating them into Japanese. Why not? Right?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There's a guy I was talking to on Twitter, and that's what he does. Is I gotta reconnect with him, but he gets your book and he says, "Give me like the files, the letter, with the the lettering files," and he can translate it to Japanese and put it on the digital with all the manga and stuff. And he said he even knows a couple of stores over there that are, maybe 5 digital copies inside a Japanese store would be kind of cool,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta be tied to. Or sorry, what you're saying?
No, I need to reach out to him again. Like just a lot of things happened with the last goodbye, and I didn't, so I kind of like I lagged on him, so I got to reach out to him again. But yeah, dude, that's what he does, and that's what he likes doing. And I definitely try to find that contact and share it with everyone so they can, talk to him and see if the business is right for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Sim is a guy that's very serious about this.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Lawson is a guy also who I think his book, like the 8th, it was a beautiful French style hardcover, right, with a slipcase and everything like that.
Nice.
And the whole French thing, like I mean, not that I don't enjoy manga, and not that I haven't like for most of my life, but I always enjoyed French comics a little bit more. Actually, I would say a lot more. I mean, look at this. Right,
Wow.
embossed cover. Right.
Well,
Nice
the
print.
entire European format is just really appealing.
It's
Yeah, it is.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, in Italian, Octopus Cowboy is Cowboy di Polpo. And in French, it says Cowboy di Polpi, I think.
There you
That's
go.
going to be weird. But yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, there's no reason for us not to, right? And
Yeah,
if,
no.
if we have people that are willing, that are friends that are willing to translate for us, or people that we throw a couple bucks to, and they translate them for us, and all we have to do is just have the letterer just re-letter the thing.
Well, I mean, you got
Yeah.
France and then Japan. I mean, they both love sequential art. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Oh my
And it's
god!
like- So they have their formats, and then every now and then, you might want to get a little salt and pepper or some Americana style. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just to switch it up. Just like we want some manga or manga, and then we want some, French format in our stuff too. You know what I mean? They're gonna get bored with their shit too, bro. You know what I mean? They want some other flavors, and that's a great
Yeah.
idea. I think
And the size
Yeah.
too. Mostly European books are bigger,
way bigger
and
Way bigger.
they like hardcovers. So
and harder.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you know,
Heavier,
I don't think
that could be.
it's like in my previous campaigns. It's just like, 24-page book. You can't do that anymore,
No,
right?
no, it's got to be
Can't do that
50
anymore.
something at least now. You know,
Yeah,
it
but
makes
you gotta
it
sell
makes
for
sense.
10. You know, you would probably have to sell for 10 or 8.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. No, I mean like the mainstream comic book size I know is shrinking. Right. I don't know how many pages. Like they're like down to like 21, 20 pages. or
Yeah,
something
they're like
that.
8. They're 18 last time because I quit buying because
Wow.
I got one around the
What?
corner,
Time ago.
a nice shop right around the corner from my pad, and they were 18 pages for like the big two. I mean, and,
Wow.
Crazy.
They're not even pretending to give a fuck anymore, are
18
they?
pages, all dialogue.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
a lot of coffee and yeah,
With
mac
that
and cheese.
horrible Tumblr art.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So bad. Mike, do you want to talk about DeepWell, even though that campaign has closed?
Yeah, man. I mean, like
Oh,
once we get done with fulfillment, we'll offer a first printing leftovers campaign like we did with Samurai,
There we
and and like we're going to be doing with God's Fear Me.
dope.
But yeah,
Oh,
man, let's talk DeepWell. So like I said at the start, it's basically a revenge story. There is a central mystery, which is the identity of the Gray Devil. So it's one of those things. Like towards the end of the campaign and promoting it, I was saying I can't wait for book 2 so that I don't have to kind of talk around who he is. Because like it's like the last page is the revelation of who he is, and that kind of catapults what's going to happen in books 2 and 3.
Wait,
But
I'm sorry. Did I just share the wrong screen?
Yeah, that's Richard's screen.
Yeah, that's Richard's.
Wait, hold
I
on.
was trying to work on my
Great,
campaign, and now you bring up my streaming.
Told you this is my first stream, man. Headphones broke. Literally, look at this shit.
Man.
Duct tape, son.
Good thing you
It's
didn't
all
dox
good,
my
baby.
bank account or something.
just call this episode duct tape.
Duct tape, yeah. Dox tape.
Dox tape.
But yeah, dude, do you want to share your screen? Because I'm trying to.
Yeah. Let me see what I can do. Hang on. Okay. Share screen. Chrome tab.
I like Richard's deal. Every international backer gets all our books for free.
That's a sweet tier, dude. I like that.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
All right. Is it coming up?
1 second. Let me see. Aha, yeah, there
Western
we go.
anthology, man.
Yeah, man.
Now that would be something. Man.
Right?
That would
Great.
be. That would. Oh, dude. Yeah. What if we did
Yeah.
an anthology? Each of us did 10, 10, 15 pages, or short stories, or even if we did. I mean, I've got the scripts already finished for done in one 6-Gun Gorilla story. So.
That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
That'd
okay.
be cool.
All right. Let's talk about this after the stream.
I'm in.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, I love this
God.
book right here.
Yeah.
The DeepWell.
Oh yeah, man.
That John Malin right there.
Yep. Yeah, the one and only. So yeah, it's basically a revenge story centered around this family. They're the Blocks. They founded DeepWell and kind of rule over it with an iron fist. And in comes the Gray Devil to exact his revenge. And like I was saying, I don't know at what point I got cut off, but basically I can't wait until we get to book 2 so that I can stop talking around what his identity is, since that's the driving mystery of the first book.
Oh yeah, oh god. Yeah, I hate having to do that with my campaigns. It's book 8, but I don't want to drop any spoilers.
Right. Yeah, so I learned that lesson for Red Key, and I decided with Red Key I'm just going to be upfront about what the book is, from the start, so that I don't have to talk around it. So when everyone is like, oh, so when I say it's a book about a superhero going undercover and posing as a supervillain, everyone's like, isn't that a big spoiler? And it's like, I don't want to not talk about that for 3 months, you know?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. That's a good selling point, though, man. Like, that's, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you.
Well, people have sort of redefined what a spoiler is. A spoiler used to be like giving away the ending to a movie.
Sure.
Now it's like any information.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, so to like balls on the table, like DEEPWELL, like straight up is a family drama, and you know the origins of the Grey Devil go back to the founding of the town, and this is all stuff woven into the book. So it's a genuine spoiler if I got into who he was.
Gotcha.
Love that pressing cover, man. Fuck.
Yep.
Man,
that shit's like iconic, dude. Like just
yeah, it is
on the whole like CG Western front. Yep. This campaign to me is too just the way you set it up. I actually got inspired by it too. Like you fuck, man, you put that dime store novel in there. You had the fucking the one poster. I put the one poster on mine. I got the inspiration from this campaign.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Oh, for sure, man.
We all inspire and steal from each other.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, you know, it that's kind of the central pull of the first volume, and just like with The Gods Fear Me, we're going to have time jumps in book 2 and book 3. I have this thing that I'm kind of hung up on in storytelling where I know at some point I'm going to tell like a very linear story that like progresses within like a few weeks of each other from volume to volume, but I love the idea of watching time progress and like that affects the narrative, that affect the characters, that affect the world around them. So, you know, you're going to see DEEPWELL over the course of about, I don't know, call it 10 years in these 3 books.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And will each book be like a separate chapter that jumps in time? Or are you jumping within time within the first issue?
Well, so okay. With The Gods Fear Me, it's straight up like volume 2 is about 12 years later, and volume 3 is going to be about 12 years after that. With DEEPWELL, it's kind of the whole. I know we're going to get into it because I'm going to drop a name that I know you're not crazy about.
Oh, that's okay.
It's the whole Tarantino Christopher Priest thing of like just each chapter is kind of, it tells a part of the narrative that needs to be told at that point, but the setting can be like 10 years prior, 15 years from now, like 20 years before, you know.
Right. So you're jumping around in time. Christopher, like in Christopher Nolan's Memento, although that was basically just in reverse.
Right.
But no, that's cool. Yeah. No, I mean, you know, I let it be known that I'm not much of a Tarantino fan, but I'd never accuse him of being a hack or like a no talent.
Yeah, so like here, for example, like this is page 2. You know, it's the end of the like prologue opening, just kind of like starting things with a bang, literally. And then we jump, like page 3 is 25 years ago, the founding of the town. You know.
Right. You see, this is something that you can do in comics so much more easily than you could in, say, film, I think. You know, every medium has certain strengths and weaknesses, and also certain things that you can only do in that medium.
Right.
I always feel like we as comic creators have to like find out what those things are and exploit them.
Imagine if you've seen that movie right there, the movie poster right there. You could like visualize that character. He's pretty iconic looking, man.
Yeah. So the dime store novel, again, like it was something that I kind of, you know, figured out when we were doing Gods Fear Me. The dime store novel is going to be prequel-ish, but definitely something that you should read after you read the main book. When it comes to prequels, I'm a big fan of prequels that don't so much just say, and that's how we got to the first frame of the film.
Right.
I'm more of a fan of like the example I use all the time on Twitter is, you know, Better Call Saul to Breaking Bad.
It needs to have its own story.
Yeah. So the Grey Devil novella is going to be everything leading up to him entering the town, but it's self-contained and it's very much its own story, and it informs what happens in the main book.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's rad. And what do you? Now this is going to be a dime novel, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, what's the actual physical format of this going to be like? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so we're actually figuring that out right now since we're going to print on God's Fear Me. Anyone who backed that and got the digital editions has read through The Million Eyes of Our Conqueror, which is the novella for that one. And so it's going to probably break down to about 36 pages of prose. And spliced in between all that is going to be spot illustrations. I'm probably going to have, Raphael come back and do those spot illustrations.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kind of pulpy, man. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And man, and I am a pulp guy to the core. I just am, I think that the way forward in storytelling is by kind of going back, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I grew up. My dad, I got into all this stuff because of my dad. And I mean, while we didn't always have the best relationship, like, I am grateful to him for this stuff because, like, I grew up surrounded by comics, by pulps, by pulp novels.
Wow.
Miniatures, RPG stuff. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, like, I mean, before I was born and up until like maybe I was like 2 or 3, he actually ran a hobby shop in like the early 80s.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So when that business closed down, like, he kept about half of the stock. So like our entire basement was basically a store.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah. So yeah, man, like, we're going to be doing digital fulfillment late September, and we'll go off to print, and as soon as I get them back, we'll be doing print fulfillment.
I'm sorry, could you just scroll up a little bit to 6 a.m.'s?
Yeah.
Should be there. MC Mark Marianelli eats them up like spaghetti, or maybe
he
some
does.
Cheerios. He masticates his foes. That dude, man, he is like, I always call him the sleeping giant,
Right?
of CG. Like, he's like, because it's just like, dude, when are you gonna launch your campaign? When are you gonna launch your campaign? When are you gonna launch your campaign?
Right.
Every conversation, right? And he's done these like for everybody.
Yep.
And they're awesome, and people love getting these as stickers, and everybody's using them as stickers, and it's so cool.
Yeah. I told him like a month or two ago, I think I said this publicly, like, that collage that he's putting together for like the past 3 years now, I legitimately believe that is going to be like a historical piece that symbolizes this entire thing.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Like that poster represents CG, the indie scene, publishing in 2020, 2021. Like, it's so representative of everything that's going on. He's incredible.
It is. Yeah. No, I agree. Like I said, the sleeping giant. That's what of the scene for sure.
Mhm.
I want a shirt.
I want a color form set, mofo. That's what I want. I want a color form set. Right? I mean, that's what it kind of looks like to me, It's just like, oh man, we're gonna have figurines and shit. It's we're just gonna be bringing people cooler and cooler stuff.
Yeah, man.
Video games, there's like programs that let you create like your own 8-bit games. It's like, God, I gotta have a 6-gun gorilla game, even if it's just bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah, and I would love at some point to have a video game, but more so, like, especially with God's Fear Me, like, out of everything that we're building, I'd kill to see 3 22-minute long animated Gods Fear Me adaptations that form one like 90-minute movie.
Oh my
Nice.
God. Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be truly amazing. But that's the thing is we have animators, we have 3D sculptors, we have God, there's just so much talent. It's it's a massive reservoir of talent that we're dwelling in. Is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm. No, absolutely, man. I know it's like just like we're trying to figure out the shipping, like we've been talking. I know that there's going to come a point where we're going to figure out the animation front, and once we have like a stable, viable model for that, we're going to start getting like CG adaptations.
Yes, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. It's just a question of who's going to be the first, right? Same thing with the video game, right?
Right.
Right. Although I guess might go to Liam for Xenotype. I think he has like a little
Okay.
side scroller or something like that. But yeah, it's just a matter of time until we all have that stuff.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that I love is that it's like everybody keeps raising the bar. Some people go overboard like with all the extras and everything, like Phil, right? Diaz with Lost Pages. Dude, really? Like, bookmarks and masks and like, box heads and cards and all that crap, right? And then we like look at, what other people are doing, go, oh, that looks cool, I'll do the same thing. And who ends up making out in the situation is the backers.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Beautiful looking book, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I can't wait to get this into people's hands.
Oh, look at that Preston cover.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with and love all the books that we've done and are doing, but I guess on a personal level, like DEEPWELL kind of means the most to me.
Oh.
That's from the heart, you would say.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, man, is, we're doing the books that have passion, that are made with passion. And my God, the mainstream books, the big two, they're nothing if not passionless.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. At this point, I'd say 95% of what DC and Marvel are putting out are just maintaining the IP.
Yeah, I think so too. They're promotional items for the movies.
Right.
Like with making Tim Drake gay. It's like if you had a new Robin and he was like a gay kid,
right?
I wouldn't even have a problem with that.
Yeah, no one would care.
No one would care, right?
It's just their MO is they constantly intentionally poke the bear because they know that it's the only way that they're going to get any attention.
Exactly. It's there's gonna be an NPR article about it, and it's like a public relations thing too. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, oh, isn't that sweet? But the people that go, oh, isn't that sweet, aren't then gonna run down to a LSC and or LCS and actually buy the damn thing.
Right. Like it's like I think Ethan said something along those lines of like the people who will go, oh, that's nice, will then 5 minutes later forget about it.
Yeah. Yep. And the comics themselves, no wonder nobody's putting any effort into that shit because they know nobody's gonna read it.
Right. And if they're taking page cuts and now the pages themselves are reduced to like 18 to 20 pages, they're literally better off just working a part-time job at the coffee shop down the street from them.
Right.
And I saw DC Comics made a deal with Webtoons. I don't know what that's about.
What was that?
Is that a web comic?
It's a online. It's like a platform. Think of it like YouTube for webcomics. Like you can sign on and have your own profile and upload webcomics to their platform.
But I think the format is like scrolling it up like that, right?
Yeah. Like Selena and I tried experimenting with like 2 different strips on Webtoons, and it's if you think building like a YouTube channel or like any social media platform, if you think that's difficult, like Webtoons is next to impossible because you've got a built-in base that only reads exclusively like Japanese titles.
Right.
And then you've got, like, call it hundreds of thousands of independent artists all trying to vie for the same, attention.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing also is, it's a different format.
It is.
It's not a comic book page.
No,
Like, you
it's
just flip. Yeah, the space is so different.
yeah,
You
like
scroll it up.
you're basically scrolling panel to panel.
Yeah, and that's a different way to tell the story. I mean, drawing a comic
Exactly.
book page is it's not that simple, really. It's just
It's a different medium.
How it,
Yeah.
it's how it flows.
I
It's,
agree. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's like I'm not totally against webcom. It's
No, yeah, it's fine. I'm just saying DC Comics is so I just see them as too big for that, or just
Yeah,
just
it's
separate
weird
for
to
that.
hear.
Yeah, they should have. They should distribute in the supermarket or newsstands. I don't know.
well, they blew that. They blew that opportunity. Imagine if when the Avengers movie came out, imagine if they had cheap, affordable reprints of old comics, not for $6, not for $5, not for $4, but for $2, right? And put them at the supermarket checkouts, right? And little kids are gonna go, "Ooh, Captain America! Ooh, Thor!" Right?
Yeah.
And you don't think that people would have grabbed those for their kids?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
for
and
sure,
also
dude.
we were saying earlier that the comic books are used to promote the movies.
Yes,
No,
promotional
man,
items.
they didn't.
No.
They didn't.
Because the comic books that came out during the Avengers and the Spider-Man and the Hulk and all these movies, Captain America, it's not the one in the books
Yeah, they're
available.
all gender
No,
changed
it's
at the
different.
time. Yeah.
And
Well,
what's
that's what killed it. That's why, because here's the thing, they could have gotten the old fans back, right?
Yeah.
But the old fans were like, okay, damn, that Iron Man movie was actually pretty dope. I wonder what Tony Stark's been up to. Where
Exactly.
the fuck is Riri Williams?
right.
Goes
Iron
back on
Heart.
the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, goes back on the shelf. Oh, what about the Hulk? I love me some Hulk. Let's see what Bruce.
And
What,
look at
Amadeus Cho. Okay,
Yeah.
Thor's my boy. Love me some Thor. Right?
Oh, man.
We're the biggest opportunity that they ever had, just handed to them, and they
Yeah.
blew it.
And even with DC, I mean, when
Yes.
that span of years where you had Nolan working on his trilogy,
Oh, yeah.
for The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, Batman wasn't even Batman in his books. It was Dick Grayson,
Yeah.
because of the whole Final Crisis thing.
Right.
They just
All
these
the
companies.
crossovers hurt for sure. I'm
The-
sorry.
No. Like, these companies seem to excel at shooting themselves in the foot, and
It's uncanny.
And what's weird about the whole Webtoons deal is, see, I'm old, and I
Me too.
remember in the early 2000s when they tried launching that Zuda line. Do you remember that?
Can you remind me? It sounds familiar, but
Basically,
I'm drawing a blank.
DC tried rolling out a digital comics platform where you could submit to be a part of it.
Right.
They had like a werewolf western, if I'm remembering right.
Yes. I have a print version upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's weird is, like, that whole thing like caved in on itself within a year. You think that they would learn, like, okay, let's never do that again and just focus on our strengths.
It's
And I can't imagine with Webtoons, again, like, their primary audience is like manga, like pure manga.
Right. They won't read it if it's not Japanese, because the reason why they read it in the first place is because it's Japanese.
Right. Like, no one wants Cyborg. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just
Yeah.
see it as being out of touch again. Like,
Way out of
okay, I have a
touch.
Teen Titans book. Oh, what's popular these days? Oh, TikTok. Oh, let's make this character have a TikTok account. Have you heard of this, right?
Right.
Oh.
Hello,
fellow
Now
Jack.
it's this. That's
And-
not. You bring
Look.
them to you. I mean, you don't like because cell phones are popular. Like, that's the story, and that's the end of it. It's just a gimmick.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And it's like they bungled shit so badly it's like, how did this happen like without being done on purpose?
Right.
Like that's how incompetent these mofos are. But you know what? It's been a great thing because it's given us a great opportunity. You know,
Right.
Their fall is giving us a huge open. And they could talk crap about us on the internet, and they can call us all kind of vile names and that sort of a thing. We can't control that.
Right.
You know, it's like wait a second, you don't think that these people are going to hit back? Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are, because you're fucking with their money.
Yeah.
And you're fucking with their careers. You know, and you saw, I mean, like, you know, with the Whisper Network, Alex DeCampi. The DeCampi clause. I'm assuming you guys like heard about that.
Yep.
Where it's like basically anybody that signs a contract to work in comics anywhere, there's a DeCampi clause. It's just like, I don't want that bitch anywhere near me. Like nope. Like I'm not gonna be with her on a panel. I'm not gonna I don't even want to stay at the same hotel where she's staying. Right? Because she just has a history of just like making shit up, and like once people dudes are on her radar, she goes right for them. But I mean, you know, I'm talking about she was the leader of the Whisper Network. Her, Gail Simone, a bunch Kelly Sue DeConnick, that were like we're taking out all of the white straight males. They're going.
Ain't taking us out.
Right. Well, the funny thing is the article, this was on Bleeding Fool. That article dropped, and it revealed that the next guy that was in their crosshairs was Scott Snyder. The article came out on a Thursday evening, and he submitted his resignation on Monday morning.
Yeah, he branched out. He branched out with Amazon now. That's why he took all that meritocracy with him, right?
Yep. Yeah, well, the thing is, you know, he knew he got the fuck out of Dodge is what he did.
Yeah, and he was, you know, he was trying to, you know, basically win like those kudo points, you know what I mean? Like throwing everybody under the bus and all that shit. And it's like, dude, that shit's whack. Like I don't care how good of a writer you are. If you're doing that, I don't even like, I'm going to fucking think of that when I'm reading your shit. Or if you're like that and I'm watching your movie, I'm going to fucking think of that. I can't help it. I'm like, you're a piece of shit. And I don't even want to watch it, or I don't want to read it, or I don't want to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like these people think that they're like cutting edge auteurs. Like when you look at like the great artists, the great filmmakers of the past like 40, 50, 60 years, yeah, there's shit that you have to look past in the name of like, well, but like look at this incredible art. Yeah. Like with Alex DeCampi, it's like you wrote Archie versus Punish. What was it? Archie versus Predator.
Yeah,
like that's your stable, that's your catalog. Like I don't have to spend money on you.
Yeah. No, not at all. And then you have somebody like Kelly Sue DeConnick, who came right out and told everybody, don't read my book.
It's like,
okay,
all right,
bitch. Okay, done. You know, I mean, I'm pretty good at separating art from the artist.
Yeah, right.
Gary Cooper, I love High Noon. I could still watch that movie and love it. What that guy actually did, though, during the McCarthy hearings, I was like, wow, really, dude? Not the character that's in the movie. It's called acting.
Yeah.
Right? And there's certain people like Kurt Busiek I'm a huge fan of Kurt Busiek. Absolute dick to me on the twatter for no reason.
Oh, dude,
for no reason.
Meeting him in person is even worse.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that he just stares at you.
Yeah, I got stories for you later, man.
I've met some people that are pretty cool. I've met some dicks too. You know what I mean? But it's weird, dude. I just can't forget it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I can't separate it. I mean, most people can separate them, but it's hard. I could go into the process, but
I don't think most people can.
I'm like thinking of it. I'm like, oh fuck this. Right. Thinking about it. Like I'm gonna go buy something else. You know what I mean? But it's like I know you're good and you're an artist and you're a badass motherfucker. But it's like,
I understand that.
Well, yeah,
I understand that.
like Kurt's the perfect example. Like, I love Astro City,
Right.
but I
Beautiful, beautiful, brilliant stuff.
after the like 2 or 3 run-ins that I've had with him, I'm like, dude, I'm never spending another dime on your stuff.
You know what I mean? It's like you can't control it after so many like little occurrences.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then there's all these people with all these stories that like are hungry for your to back their book. You know what I mean? And like in the indie scene, and they got good stuff, dude. You know what I mean? And it's like,
I know.
we only got so many bucks in our wallet. You know what I mean? It's like, I think I'm gonna like not. I'd rather go back this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that our backers love about us in this scene is that they feel like they're part of the process, which they are.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
They're making it possible, and yet at the same time, they're not dictating what we write and illustrate. Right.
Yeah.
Because they understand it's like it's like going to like a really great sushi chef, right? Like there's this guy in Japan, he's considered like a national treasure, a living national treasure. Like,
yeah, and this place is like in a basement.
Yes. Jiro Dreams of Sushi. If
That's
you're
what it's like.
Yeah, if you're a creative person, I don't care what medium you're working in, check out this documentary called Jiro Dreams of Sushi. I saw it on Netflix, right? And because it's about this guy who's like considered a living national treasure, basically like a Japanese version of like a knighthood, right? And he has a sushi joint that seats maybe 12 people. It's in the basement of a subway station.
No shit.
And it's considered by many to be the greatest restaurant in the world.
Fuck around.
Right? And so when you go into a place like that, you're dealing with like a grandmaster. You don't order shit. You eat what he gives you.
Yeah, absolutely.
In order. In order too. Because there's a way to eat it.
Yes.
That's like some
apparently.
Indiana Jones shit.
No, well, there's like certain etiquette, don't like dip the rice in the soy sauce. Don't add any wasabi or anything like that.
He's like,
he's like
no sushi for you.
That shit.
Get out.
No California roll.
Oh man,
no roll.
No masubi.
Yeah, right. But I mean, so it's not like we came here to get away from censorship, and it's not like people are telling us, well, you can't do this or you can't do that, right? I mean, people can always vote with their dollar, right? But I mean, we were working with total freedom, total creative freedom. I think the most insidious thing about the censorship in the mainstream industry is that writers and artists have to censor themselves up here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They have to stop and second guess all the time. Like, oh, how is this going to come off? Oh, it's oh well, this group be offended by that, or
every page probably, every
page.
They have to go back and rewrite it in their head before they even set their fingers down on the keyboard.
That's
why would you do
exhausting.
that? Why would you do that if you're not? That's not even being an artist anymore. You've totally like lost your artistic freedom, and there's no point in even doing it. It's like, why not?
You're just a stenographer,
Yeah, and it's kind of like it's like depressing to even think about. Like, what are you doing? You're not even putting yourself out there. You know what I mean? That's what artists do. They put themselves out there, shamelessly, and they're trying to give to the world because artists are givers and they're not takers. And how are you supposed to give if there's nothing to give?
Amen, brother. Yeah, no, I take it very seriously, like the same way. That's why, people can accuse my writing or books of being crap, but they can't accuse them of being insincere. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
your books aren't crap though, dude. But no, you're fucking awesome.
I think they're neither.
Yeah, no baloney. Your shit's fucking awesome. It's like.
Thanks.
But that Six Gun Gorilla, but I fucking love that book, man.
Thank you so much, man. I'd like, dude, it blows my mind. It really does. It blows my mind that like people enjoy that book as much as they do. I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. I figured that like, you know, like some of the reviews would be good, and some people would. But I expected, you know, like not everything is for everybody. I didn't think that like it would be you know, like I didn't expect the praise that I got, and it's very difficult for me to accept compliments. My friends always have to tell me, Brian, take the compliment. Shut the fuck up. Take the compliment, right?
Well,
but I'm just like it makes me just grateful.
People
Well-
also they see passion too. They read it, they can feel it, and passion is contagious. It's a positive thing
Yeah.
that is contagious, and it can just, you know, you can see love and care go into something, and you know they can see you went the extra mile to get this piece of dialogue to work or the scene to work. You know, like people see that, they're like, oh,
They do.
okay, you know, he cares
Yeah.
for this character,
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah.
I care for the character
Yeah.
too, and it's contagious. So
Yeah, we do not fake the funk.
And and that's what's great about this scene. I mean, yeah, westerns are a tough sell,
They
but
are.
I think particularly within CG, there's this subsection of guys who genuinely love westerns, and once you're on their radar, like they will support you forever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think so too. And that's the thing, is that we're actually all doing this, and the only campaign that hasn't that hasn't been not fulfilled. What am I saying? That hasn't reached its goal yet is Richard's. But Richard's will, without a
Yep.
freaking doubt.
It will.
yeah.
Richard, when are you relaunching, sir?
Friday. We so
we need to
me,
do a party
John,
or something.
yeah, me, Nova, and Fade, we do a stream on Friday night, 6 p.m. And we're just gonna relaunch it, talk about some things, and just, you know, invite whoever to come through and say hi and talk about the book. You know, like I said, you know, you live, you learn. But I think in a way, trying to be positive about it. People saw
too.
how I respect people's money. They see how I handle business and how I'm like forward and honest and 100% with everyone. So I think that played into a positive promotion for me, even though it was a little mistake in the beginning. But I'm excited, man. We got that international combo. I got it at a fixed
That's
goal
amazing.
for 4K. You know, fixed goal 4K. That's totally reachable. We can go into in demand after that and continue to grind and continue to hit the trail, man. And you know, like I said, it's just not promoting online. You know, I plan to go out and do the old school, man, flyers here, meet people, you know, talk to people. I think
Cons, man, when we can do conventions,
Yeah.
that's gonna be the shit.
mm-hmm.
We're actually gonna meet each other like in the flesh,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
gonna be I can't wait for that, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Richard, they got a con that's probably going to pop up around here, but I don't know if it is. It's East LA. I did that one a couple years
Really?
back. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
But it was a lot of stickers and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's something to do. It was like $100 to get a table. You go in there. You're in this old
Oh, wow,
school
that's pretty good.
down East
That's pretty
LA,
good.
like old
I know
building.
They got the Ontario one coming up soon, but like I'm in the process of moving, man. So I'm trying to figure it all out, you know. But it's a blessing. It's a new job, new career, new house, you know. So
Awesome.
it's everything's going on in a positive way, but it's on God's time. So I'm just, you know, in the meantime, just get this campaign right. That's all I can do, and just promote
Richard,
and
I'm
have
not
fun,
familiar
man.
with what happened.
Sad.
What happened to the campaign? Because I saw you in Bancroft's show.
Oh, so what I did is I put it on a flexible goal, first mistake,
okay.
and I put it at 8K. And I thought I was like, oh, you know, flexible goal, even if I don't hit it, I can still go on demand. But I totally read it wrong. And it's if you don't hit your goal, there is no on demand. And say you raise 7, 6K, whatever, you're expected to fulfill everyone's orders with just that amount of money and never reaching in demand. So that's one correction that I needed to make, and it gave me an opportunity to adjust the international shipping too. So,
Okay.
But I'm
but
glad that you're doing an immediate relaunch, because
Yeah.
I know that Preston was thinking, you know, wait until next year. I personally don't. I think doing the immediate relaunch is the way to go, because you've built up this momentum.
Yeah, Steamboat.
yeah,
And
it'll die
Yeah.
out. They'll be like, you know. So
right,
yeah, and
right.
everyone was like, a lot. I should like, almost pretty much everyone though was, hey, let me know when it relaunches. I I got you. And
Yeah,
I'm
Fridays.
back on a higher tier, you know. And even people are like, bro, I didn't get a chance to back. Let me know when it relaunches. I'm gonna back, you know. So hopefully we get a strong showing, and you know.
Yeah, and then you can start redoing
Mhm.
all the shows, promoting, and
Yeah.
don't feel bad. It was a rookie mistake that you made, but we
Mhm.
were all rookies, and we all made very similar mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I made some rookie mistakes even before like the whole CG and you know of printing up comics to go to the show. I'm like, oh wow, I got to print up another 50 because this batch is bad, you know, and you know it was my fault, but the printer at least they gave me like free shipping. That was pretty cool. But
That's
you know,
cool.
like we're a one man show in a way, you know, as far as like promoting. You know, yes, I have an artist. Yes, they work hard. It is a team effort to bring out the book. But as far as promoting, it's a lot of one man things. But
It
I'm
can
lucky
be.
that I got Nova Blast and Fade, and you know Matt's always been on the show too, except when he's like you know has to put on the dad hat and work, you know. But I totally know. So we, you know,
And
and yeah, but
and
it's just fun, you know.
that's the point, man. You know, you got to have fun doing this shit, or you're doing it
Yeah.
wrong. You know, like this is a job where if you're not having fun and like feeling like a little kid, you're like doing it wrong.
Yeah, that has to be at the forefront is having the fun. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But always
yes.
remembering that you're putting this thing out there. Otherwise, you're not. You're working at Walmart or McDonald's or you're a grocer or whatever you do. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Right.
But you're creating something. You're putting it out there, and you could go to bed and you could go to the grave knowing that. I think you're going to feel a lot better personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Matt, like you're one of those people like that I always think of when I think of like people that you like were like hanging out in the chats for a long time,
Yeah.
and then they're just like, oh, these guys don't seem too bright. They're getting it done. Why don't I try? And you threw your hat in the ring, bro. And now you're gonna have your second campaign fulfilled. So
Hopefully, man, I'm gonna keep pushing. You know what I mean?
that's what the scene is all about, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. All right, we should probably cut out. Now we've been like what 2.5 hours. Everybody that's been hanging out, anybody that's watched us on replay, thank you so much for chilling with us. Should we go over our campaigns again really quick, or y'all's campaigns real quick? Do you want to do that?
Sure.
Sure.
Just everybody just like click like share your campaign page, because if I try and fuck around and do it myself, it's gonna be ugly. And too bad Graham couldn't make it. But Graham, if you're watching, we're thinking about you, brother. Okay.
I think he was in the back room, but we didn't get him in. So yeah, Friday is the relaunch. You know, around 6 p.m. and 6 p.m. Pacific, and we're just gonna get this thing rolling again. Like I said, back on the saddle, back on the horse, get this thing out. New perks for international backers. Of course, the digital is always there for people that want to back digitally. We got 3 covers to choose from. All are 25 piece. Free shipping in USA. You know, be printed in USA, and the shirts will be printed in USA as well. So,
Hell
yeah, man, it's gonna be fun, man. Books coming out phenomenal. Stories coming out phenomenal. Like I love this book too much to not let this book come out. You know,
Hell
it is
yeah.
a passion project, and man, dude, if you want, I don't want to say too much of a slow build, but it is. It does have that classic Western where it does build, but man, the ending, the payoff is definitely going to be satisfying. You know, justice comes violently. You know, in this tale. So hope you guys, whoever's watching, go out and back it on Friday. And you know, I love to earn your business. So thank you
Hell
for
yeah.
having me on, Brian. Appreciate it, and we got to
Thank
be
you,
on more
brother.
streams, man. Because I know, like I said, I met you when I was walking around trying to, you know, just get information on how to be a creator, and you were already doing the damn thing. So, you know,
Oh, dude.
And those
That's-
Comic Cons are fun, man. You could,
They are.
man. And what's better is the after party, especially the one in Anaheim when they have the bar scene at the Hilton, and everyone's
man.
just you're
You're
just like,
dude. The parties
Yeah.
that we're gonna have, like once conventions are officially back, there are gonna be debased.
yeah,
Debased. Utterly disgraceful behavior.
yes. We're definitely gonna get kicked from YouTube then.
Yeah.
Debauchery, just debauchery, bro.
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. And Matt, tell us once again, plug Butch Cleaver real quick.
Sure. Thanks, brother. We got 21 days left. It's the last 30 days. And it's going to pick up right where the first one left off, Fast and Furious. And it's going to be Butch diving into his past, showing what makes him tick and who he is now and how he got there. And I'm going to be dropping a new CG gift probably at midnight tonight, but definitely in a few hours. And again, it's about a brutal butcher who gets killed. He's brought back to life by a voodoo curse, and he uses that power to weaponize bone on a molecular level. If you guys are into spaghetti westerns, if you like Swamp Thing, Jonah Hex, Hellboy, Evil Dead, that type of thing, you might be into this. So if you want, check it out. It's a genre bending western, so if you're into stuff like that, you're definitely going to want to check this out. And that's basically it, guys. It's butchcleaver.com, and thank you, Brian, for having me on here. And I appreciate it, brother.
Oh, my pleasure, dude. And let's see, what do we have? Octopus Cowboy.
Yeah, we're on in demand, and by me I mean me. I'm the one doing the whole thing. It's nice to listen to writers saying they have a lot of fun. It's fun, but when you got to draw it, it's also fun. What am I saying? So these are the tiers. Once Upon a Time in the West is the featured perk. Everything's there. All 3 covers, trading cards, bookmark, and sticker. And Westworld is the digital option. And A Fistful of Dollars is the main and the standard cover. And I have, for a few dollars more, you get the first variant with the first sticker. That sticker is the very first sketch I've ever made of this guy. And I tried to give him...
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I tried
to... I'm sorry, can you blow that up? Can you blow that image up?
It's down here. And...
I gotta see that shit.
Where is it? Okay, I think it's here.
Oh, you can draw a gorilla, man.
There it is. There. I try to give him sleeves and pants, and I try to make him human, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. It's already ridiculous, but I'm like, okay, that he's not human. Okay, I said, so stop it. But still, it's there.
That's awesome.
First, sketch I've made of him.
Oh wow! I may have to share my very first 6-gun gorilla sketch.
Yeah, and so that comes with a variant A, and then there's the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where you see the 2 supporting characters and also 3 trading cards, and the last one is the Wild Bunch, which, well, this is not the last one, but with the books, which is for retailers, and I'm happy that one got it. As much as possible, I really want a tier for the retailers. And
hell yeah.
Maybe I'll sweeten the deal much better, on the second campaign.
That's a good idea, man. More of us need to be doing that, I think.
Yeah. I agree.
And so I gave that like a nice 24% discount, and then the shipping didn't change also. And I got 2 original art pages left. One is already sold. And that's it. Hope everybody checks it out. It's wild and crazy as it sounds.
Yeah, it looks freaking awesome. I mean,
thanks for having me, Brian.
Naturally, I would be a sucker for this. Dude, thank you so much for swinging by. And I believe, and that's everybody, right? I didn't miss anybody.
No, we're good.
Okay, all right. In that case, let me see if I can share this.
Yeah, show some 6-gun, man. Come on.
Well, wait, hold on. Hold up. Let me see if I can. There we go.
I love the way the art direction you're going on the new new book.
That's your first
That's awesome.
draft of it?
Thanks.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You can see. Yeah. Yeah. They're the brooded. I have to point out brooding eyes. Slouch hat with silver inlaid band. Here this is before he had a poncho. I just had him wearing like a crisscrossing bandoliers. There's his gun belt. I also gave him fingerless leather gloves for his hands and his very hand-like feet.
That's pretty tight.
But then I was like, but wait a second, gorillas are running around in the jungle in the friggin' Congo, right? Without the need for footwear. Or handwear, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me no longer share that, and you all have seen enough of the horror. Yeah, that's good for me too. But yeah, no, I mean, look, man, I had was it John Bushima's How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way when I was a kid.
I got that.
I worked. And by the time I was in high school, I was like, yeah, I don't think this is going to happen. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, it's not like art. It's not like you don't bust your asses. It's not that you don't devote years and years and years of study and work to your craft. But I think you have to have like that little something. You know what I mean? And if you don't have it, you don't have it. I just realized eventually, like, yeah, I don't think I got that. But anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this evening. And everybody who's watching, thank you for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell, because yeah, I'm in the streaming game now, baby. And I intend on doing more streams. You know, I guess, what do I want to be? I guess I want to be like the Dick Cavett or the Charlie Rose of is there even a modern equivalent of those dudes?
No, I was gonna say that's some deep cuts for our younger viewers.
Yeah. But I want to do you know, streams that aren't just shill streams, but are thoughtful conversations on particular topics. Like what I want to do next time is have all of the creators of monster books on and do like a monster stream, and because I'm all pissed off and angry and bitter and I hate them because like they're all doing monster books and I'm not yet. Right, everybody, peace out. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and go check out those campaigns. I'll try to include the links down below. Peace,
Later,
love,
everybody.
Peace, love, and soul.